Welcome to the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights High School football game of the week, presented by Wendy's. We are live at Indian Trail School in Kenosha as Kenosha Bradford takes on Franklin. Thanks for joining us. My name is Mike McGivern. I'm with Sports Radio 1250 WSSP, and I'm here with the two head coaches. Head coach from Kenosha Bradford, Jim Cameron. Coach, how you doing today?
Not too bad.
Hey, Coach, tell us a little bit about Game 1. You guys went up to a really tough school at Hudson and lost. It was 14-7 in the last minute. What did you learn from your team?
Well, I think the guys this year learned that we have to play with an extreme amount of energy and passion. We don't have the D1 stars anymore, and I think we have to find that energy tonight against a good Franklin team.
Thank you. Lewis Brown, head coach at Franklin. Same thing, Coach. You guys went over to Sussex Hamilton. Shorter drive than what Jim had, obviously, and played a really tough Sussex Hamilton team. What did you learn about your team?
Well, I learned that you got to be physical. When you schedule tough opponents like that, you got to be physical up front, and they took it to us on both sides of the ball, and we'll find out tonight if this week of practice will pay off.
Coach Camerata, second time head coach through Kenosha Bradford, been a defensive coordinator. How's the transition been for you?
It's been pretty smooth. A lot of the things that we're doing this year, Coach Kennedy put in place over the last 5 years. We made some minor changes here and there, but primarily the kids came back knowing what to expect, and we're kind of running things the way they have been run.
Excellent. Last question, Coach Brown. With Franklin normally near the top of this conference, this is a tough conference. This is a tough conference opener to come to Bradford.
Absolutely. I think the conference title's gone through this game for probably the past 5 or 6 years, so I wouldn't expect nothing different tonight.
Hey, guys, I really appreciate your time. Coach Camerata, Coach Brown, I'm going to catch you guys loose. On the other side of the break, I'm going to send you over to John Weiser and Dick Basham for the keys of the game. This is the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights High School football game of the week, presented by Wendy's.
Welcome back to Jaskowitz Stadium, everyone, with Dick Basham, John Weiser with you for Thursday Night Lights this evening. Kenosha Bradford hosting Franklin in a Southeast Conference tilt, first conference game of the year for both teams. Both teams coming off a rare first week loss. Bradford losing at Hudson last week 28-7. Franklin losing to Sussex Hamilton 31-21. And for the case of Kenosha Bradford, defending Division I state champion, Dick, maybe a little bit of a championship hangover.
Well, I did talk to Coach Camerata on Monday, and he said that was part of it. Also, a long bus trip, about a 6-hour bus trip, and then turn around and come back after the game didn't do him a lot of good. But he said he didn't play with any enthusiasm, and I think that's probably a little bit of a hangover from winning a state championship, because they do have some good players back, but it's not the same team as last year either. Fans need to understand that.
And Franklin used to putting up offensive numbers, losing last week 31-21. It was the defense that really let them down, giving up over 400 yards of offense, over 300 yards on the ground.
Well, first of all, Hamilton's a very good football team, and they play Marquette tonight. Well, that'll be a good test to see where that goes. But Franklin had trouble stopping them, and as a result, they didn't have the ball that much, and they got behind and couldn't catch up. They feel that their defense is actually going to be really good for them, but it wasn't really good in the first game.
Bradford coming into this game here tonight have won 30 of their last 32 regular season games, their first home game tonight since winning that state championship back in November. So we take a look at this Red Devil team. Strong up front offensively, that offensive line, and led by one Graham Bullimore, their left tackle.
Well, when I asked Coach Camerata to tell me who he thought we should highlight, he actually gave me 3 offensive linemen who were returning from last year. Abe Bravo, Graham Bullimore, and Robbie Hastings. They're all seniors. If you average their weights and heights, they average at 6'4", 280 pounds. And I watched them warm up here. They are some big boys, and they are some earth movers, and it will be very interesting how they are able to run the ball tonight.
Bullimore getting some Division I looks at that left tackle spot. Defensively, Carvel Graham in the secondary, another returning starter, 2-year starter for that defense.
Yeah, he's going to have to hold it together tonight, because Franklin likes to throw the ball, and they're very good at throwing the ball. But he's a very good player. He made the play at the end of the game, state championship game last year that iced it for him in a 7-0 win. They intercepted late in the game, and that's the kind of player he is, and I know that he needs to do that tonight, but his friends back there need to help him out.
For Franklin, obviously they spread the offense out. They'll empty the backfield, a lot of 4 and 5 receiver sets, and it starts with their quarterback, Sean McGuire.
Well, Franklin has a history of good quarterbacks, and this is no exception. Sean McGuire started last year. He's 6'3", about 190 pounds. He has Division I potential, as Coach says. But what impresses me about him, as a sophomore, he threw for over 1,600 yards and only played 9 games. And even more impressive, he had completed 61% and only had 8 interceptions while throwing 12 touchdown passes. So that's a good start for a sophomore, and he can only get better.
And how about the game last week for Adam Conley, their defensive end, 20 tackles against Sussex Hamilton a week ago.
Yeah, that's an impressive start. You wonder where everybody else was and why he had a chance to make 20 tackles. If that happens tonight, they're probably not going to win again. But he is a 6'6", 240-pound Division I prospect as well. Both he and the quarterback are 3.6 students. They're excellent athletes, excellent students. So I think, and that's true of several players on the Franklin team. And I think having that intelligence also makes you a better and stronger team.
That leads us now to our keys for the game tonight, and we'll start first with the homestanding Red Devils.
Well, I think what they need to do is they need to pressure the passer and disrupt Franklin's rhythm. They like to throw the ball. Also, I think they need to control the ball on offense and shorten the game. They don't want Franklin to have it any more than they have to. And finally, they need to have no turnovers. They fumbled it around a little bit last week, so we need no turnovers.
For Franklin, obviously, they've got to slow down that rushing offense for the Red Devils.
Yeah, that's true. They need to. My first key is that they need to slow down Bradford's running game, because that's how they win their games. Although they are trying to throw it a little bit more this year, they need to run the ball and keep pressure off the passing game. And then finally, they need to keep Bradford backed up as far as they can. A running team has to go 80 yards. That's a little bit tough for them.
Should be an exciting ball game. These two teams have won the conference championship the last 3 years. It's been one or the other. We'll see who prevails here tonight on their Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights, presented by Wendy's.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, who were so gallant streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free, oh, and the home of the brave.
If that is any indication of how we're going to have a game here tonight, boy, let me tell you, that is the best rendition of the national anthem in 3 seasons we've been doing this here on Thursday Night Lights. John Weiser, Dick Basham, glad you're along tonight for this one. As we mentioned, a warm evening tonight, so obviously staying hydrated and stamina are going to be the key, particularly getting into that second half.
You're right. That's the same trainer on the sideline got to make sure that when they come out of the game, they get handed a water bottle and that they make them drink it, because I know kids get excited and they don't want to do that, and then it's too late and they can't catch up.
It's not often these two teams meet looking for their first win of the season. So, are you a big believer, being a former head coach, in that of the big step between week 1 and week 2? Bradford won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. They will kick it off from right to left. They are in the red jerseys. The Franklin Sabres decked out in the road whites here tonight. It'll be Oates and Quirk standing deep to receive the kick. Eric Witkowski does the place kicking for this Bradford team. And he will have a little bit of a wind at his back. It'll be a short kick. It'll bounce inside the 20, be picked up there, as Oates will take it out to about the 25-yard line. So good field position. Alex Storino on special teams down to make the tackle for the Red Devils.
Yeah, he just pooched it down there and gave the coverage team a chance to get down and get under it, and they did a nice job to get the ball up at the 20-yard line on a kick that doesn't go in the end zone. The 25-yard line it doesn't go in the end zone is a really good way to start.
Now we'll see a lot of no-huddle pistol formation. They'll empty the backfield at times. You'll see as many as 5 receivers going out for this Sabre offense from the pistol. It'll be Sean McGuire, the junior quarterback. He'll line things up first. Has double man in the backfield, twins here to the near side. And the give is to the fullback. That is Ben Smith, the senior, trying the left side. Bradford defense stiffens immediately. Chris Barata there to make the tackle.
Yeah, very good pursuit in that play. It wasn't anything real fancy with the play, and they sniffed it out and had 3 or 4 guys there to make the play.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11 from the 24-yard line. Again, they'll go with the double set, Oates and Smith in the backfield. And this time it is the quarterback, McGuire, going to keep it. The pitch goes back to Smith, working the left side across the 25, shy of the 30-yard line. Once again, cornerback Barata there to make the stop for Bradford.
Well, they used that first play as a decoy. Here's the offensive line for Franklin. Hughes, Bartels, Robleski, Beck, and Beck. The Beck brothers, the right guard, Trevor's a senior, and Bryant's a sophomore.
Big third down here. They'll throw it for the first time. They'll try and dump it out. The ball is tipped, nearly picked off. As we watched that during practice this week, they really worked hard up front, letting the front men try and tip that football. I believe that was Mangum that got a hand on it for Bradford to knock it down.
And that's a really good way for Bradford to start. Coach Camerata made it very obvious this week that he didn't like their effort last week. They didn't play with any enthusiasm, and that really has changed this week, and you have to give, I think, the coaching staff credit.
Greg Rand to punt it away to Carvel Graham.
Short
and it
kick.
will bounce short. Takes a Sabre roll inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. That'll be a 37-yard punt, no return. Bradford gets their first look at offense. Again, losing last week in Hudson, battling not only that 5.5, 6-hour bus ride to Hudson, but a little bit of that championship hangover. I think it's going to be a different feel for Bradford this year. Every week now for the next 6-7 weeks, it's going to be the Super Bowl for the other team.
Exactly. But at the same time, Hudson is a quality football program. Hudson came down to Bradford last year and was ahead of that state championship team 14-0 before they knew what happened. They then came back and beat them fairly handily in the second half. But they never got out of the chute. It was 28-0, I believe, before Bradford was able to score.
Wilson will lead them at quarterback. They'll give it to the fullback. First man through, I believe, that was Carter, Steve Carter, the senior, on the carry. Wilson starting at quarterback. Drayvon Lafayette still out with a knee injury, making the stop, Chad Canal, for the Franklin Sabres.
Well, that's true. Their regular fullback is not playing tonight, and their quarterback who finished the season for them last year, I think he played the last 3 games, led them to that state championship after their starting quarterback got hurt. And so I think they miss them both, but that's not an excuse. It's an 11-man game, and I'm sure that Wilson and Carter can do a good job for them.
Banks, Carter, and Lynch in the backfield. And again, they'll give it to Carter, the fullback, trying to dive over the right side. Nothing doing. The Sabre defense right on top of it. That defensive front doing its job here early on for Franklin.
Well, I think they're trying to soften up that middle, so to speak, by pounding it in there. Last week, Hamilton had good success running on them. They had over 200 yards rushing. And I think one player, one back from Hamilton was over 200 yards himself. So they're checking that out to see if they've shored that up.
Bradford has to stay out of these 3rd and long situations tonight. They face a 3rd and 7, ball just across the 35-yard line, and the penalty marker rains down. It's our first penalty of the ball game here tonight.
I think that must have been on Bradford's clapping, so it must have been on Franklin.
Got some movement up front. This season, our penalty flags are brought to you by Conan Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Conan Smith. And our penalty offside on Franklin makes it a 3rd and short, 3rd and 2. Our officials tonight led by referee Fred Strampy. The umpire is Paul Vandenhoevel. The linesman Eric Wieberson. Dave Schill, the line judge. Jim Baker, the back judge. 3rd and 2 for the Red Devils at the 41. Carter again tries to pick his way left side. Nothing there. Making first contact up at the line of scrimmage, John Fechner, the senior, 5'8", 150-pound outside linebacker.
Yeah, he was all over that. He had a lot of help, but he was the first one to put his shoulder on him.
Downstairs we go to
Hey guys, listen to the defensive coordinator for Kenosha Bradford. First thing he said is make sure you've got the right guy, and then calmly went through each set that Franklin has shown them and said, okay, are you coming up on this one? Are you pressing on this? Who's coming to the middle? They just went through each set that they've seen Franklin set up in and said, make sure that we're in the right position. Very calm, cool, very businesslike.
Our thanks to Mike McGivern, our 3rd member of our crew here tonight, as Steve Carter dinged up, and boy, they can't afford another injury at that running back position.
I think he's all right. He just
get another look at that replay.
Might got the wind knocked out of him, it looks like.
Yeah, right there.
Got a hit in the.
It was Kanai, I believe, on the defensive end that lowered the boom on Carter. Sets up 4th and 1. Red Devils appear to be going forward here. Ball at their own 42-yard line early here in this first quarter.
Well, this is what they would have done last year, so that hasn't changed. They believe they can get this 1 yard rather than punt it.
And they'll give it. This time it's to Banks, I believe. Banks gets the first down and across the 44 near the 45-yard line. Making the stop, Jason Barris, the inside linebacker for Franklin. Another First Bank first down, our first down sponsor this season. We'd like to thank First Bank Financial Center for sponsoring our first downs this season. First Bank Financial Center, discover the community bank difference. So Bradford, early gut check, picks up the 4th and short.
Well, they went in right behind Steve Malotnik and Robbie Hartwell in isolation play, and they had plenty of power. They got good movement on the line of scrimmage, and so that 1 yard was pretty easy to pick up.
Now we got an official stopping play here. Timeout taken by Bradford.
I think that was called on the sideline. They must not have liked
Scott
something.
Stager. We set the offense here for you for Bradford. We talked about the 3 players up front, Bullimore, along with Harwell and Bravo, the 3 that have the 2 years of starting ability. Right. Bullimore getting the Division I looks, the 6'7", 270-pound left tackle.
Well, Hastings is a small one. He's only 185 pounds, but Melitik and the other 3 that we talked about in the pregame are good-sized boys, and they move bodies. Lyra, Zulsdorf, Banks, Lynch, and Carter are the receivers in the backs for Bradford.
Carter going out with an injury here early on, so we'll have to keep a check on that as this game progresses. And again, for a team that's primarily running, I think they only threw the ball 14 times last year, attempted 14 passes last year.
Right. I was looking at the stats from last year, and I thought that was either a misprint or they didn't send all their information in, but I think it's about right. 14 passes in a season is pretty unbelievable.
Bradford taking the timeout on offense. I was going to start to say offensive coordinator Scott Stager didn't like the way that that formation was looking when they got to the line of scrimmage and immediately signaled for that timeout.
And looks like 37, I believe. Is that 27 or 37? I can't tell. Jay Mangum might be in that fullback.
This time they'll give it to Lynch. Lynch, his first carry tonight, gets it across the line of scrimmage, gain of about 2. Lynch, the smaller of the backs, 5'6", 170, a senior. 89 yards is what he gained last year. It was Deshaun Bates in on the tackle for Franklin along with Fernandez. There's Scott Stager, the offensive coordinator for the Red Devils.
Well, they believe in the running of the ball. That does shorten the game, as we said in the pregame, and right now that's what they're doing.
2nd down and 7. They try and work it near side. Banks tries to get the outside, tripped up at the last second. Otherwise, he would have had the corner. Jared Caro, the junior free safety, able to step up with the shoelace tackle. Otherwise, that was going to go for some big yards.
Yeah, he was right there. Deshaun Bates was in the backfield right away, but he couldn't make the connection.
Tackle by number 21, Jared Carroll.
Right there, the old shoelace tackle right at midfield.
Yeah, that was an excellent play by...
Let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, checking on 32, Steve Carter. Got a big cut under his eye. He's gonna have quite a shiner. Kind of just putting a little ice on it. I think he'll be back soon.
A little bit of good news there. Unfortunately, getting that cut on the eye, but sounds like he may be back before the evening is through. Hand it off inside Lynch. Lynch trying to get the first down, fights for extra yardage, short of the 45-yard line. Needed to get there for the first down. We do have a penalty flag on the play. We got an illegal shift on Bradford, 2 men in motion.
Fullback jumped a little bit. The one-man in motion was okay, but when the fullback jumped, that made the play illegal.
They would have been short of the first down, it would appear, so it looks like Franklin will accept the penalty here.
It's going to be 3rd and 10.
So 5-yard walk-off here, second penalty of the night against Bradford. And again, that was a problem last week. I think they had a series where they had 4 straight penalties on that 3rd scoring drive for Hudson last week.
Yeah, that kills a running team. This will be interesting how they're almost forced to throw a pass here if they want to seriously get the first down.
Well,
Coach Camerata did say that they were working on throwing the ball more this year than they had.
Well, let's see if they put it up here with Wilson sitting in under center. Mangum in the fullback spot. Double slot. Pump fake. The lefty fires. Over the middle. Complete. Gets the first down. Nice swing pass. Tony DiBartolo, the flanker. On a little slant route from the right side. Able to pick up the first down. Gain of 11. Bradford continues to move the chains.
Well, Tony DiBartolo is a really nice receiver. 6'2", 190 pounds. Good hands. It was a little slant route. Wide open. And the ball's on the money. And you are able to get that first down by about the length of the ball.
Again, we remind you that our Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You'll also find our complete game schedule, archive videos of all of our games, current and past seasons. That's my24milwaukee.com. Big running room over the near side, and another first down as taking the ball. Christian Banks off to the races. Fernandez again on the stop for Franklin as we take another look.
Well, Colin Buck was there, but he couldn't make the play. Right there, you see that? He missed it right there, and then Fernandez comes up and knocks him out of bounds. That's a really good effort by Banks. Excellent run.
Banks, a 6'2", 175-pound senior, 44 yards rushing a season ago for this Red Devil team. Again, they've, Quanzell Murphy gone, and John Myers gone.
They had to
got,
reload.
Melvin Gordon and Levante Jackson. They're all graduated and moved on. 2nd and short. Mangum up the middle, gets the first down, taking a couple of tacklers with them inside the 38, down to the 30 or 32-yard line, I should say, for the first down. A nice strong run that time by the Mangum, the replacement for Carter.
Well, this is exactly the type of football that Bradford wants to play.
Chad Kanaw there on the stop, the junior, 6'5", 235 on that defensive end for Franklin. Another first down for Bradford. Again, they've been able to pick up 2 third and long situations here tonight so far from the 32. Quarterback Wilson and Magnum get tangled up, and they're lucky to hang on to that football that there was not a fumble there.
Yeah, Canoe and Buck were there again.
And that's what you have to be concerned about here for Bradford. Inexperience in that backfield. Mangum not usually in there, and with Wilson, the quarterback, kind of a indecision on his part whether to pull it out of the belly or keep it.
Jake Fernandez was in that on that too. He had a good hit on that play. So that's just what I was just going to say, that I thought Franklin needed to make a big play up front. And they've gone to their 4-man front. They brought Deshaun Bates in, number 43, taking their middle linebacker out, I believe. And playing with more of a 4-4 look than a 3-5.
2nd and 11. Mangum again trying to pick his way over the right side. Not much there. Gets a couple.
Number 37, Dan Magnum on the carry.
Magnum in there in place of Steve Carter, who left in the first opening series here, the first couple of plays with a cut under his eye. We saw him before, had ice pack over it. They expect him back here momentarily.
Josh Beckman.
All right, now Mangum has really picked up the slack and has done a good job. He's not shifty, but he's got that good lean and good power to get the shoulders down and make himself a hole.
From the 32-yard line, 3rd and 8 here for Bradford. Their first drive of the game, and Wilson wants to throw. The lefty steps up, delivers near side. There was contact. Penalty marker down. Trying to jump that route was Fechner again, the senior, the outside linebacker who had containment there, made contact with Banks early, and the penalty marker down.
Yeah, Fechner got there just a hair too soon. It was almost a really good play, but he did bump him before he had a chance to catch it. So I think the official really had to call it.
Conan Smith penalty flag. Once again, we thank Conan Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Conan Smith. Officials have been busy here tonight, early on. Unlike last week.
Well, that's an example of what you would call a flood route. They had about 3 receivers out at different levels on the left sideline. Of course, the quarterback, Wilson, is left-handed, so he rolled out that way, which makes it a fairly good throw for him.
Again, in high school, the interference will be stepped off from the line of scrimmage, 15 yards and a first down. We'll move the football down to the 16-yard line as we get another look here. The little bump on Banks.
And so here's the situation. We have 4 minutes left in the first half, and Franklin's won 3 plays, and that's it. Maybe 4.
Mangum, the fullback, in the backfield. We have Lynch to the left. And Wilson wants to throw on play action, going back over the middle, caught at the 10, 5, touchdown Bradford. Beautiful delivery that time, Luke Zulsdorf, the junior, gets his first touchdown reception of the year. Bradford on the board, 6-0.
Well, that's what running teams can do to you, but they make you concentrate on stopping the run. Everybody's going for the fake. All that time, the tight end's coming across the field. Zulsdorf, not the biggest tight end you'll see in high school football, 6'2", 190, or 6'1", 190. So, but the ball's right in the money. That was a good throw from Wilson.
Simonson to snap. DiBartolo on the hold. Witkowski with the boot. And it is good. 7-0. We will take a break. 4:17 to play in the first quarter. Bradford strikes first. Our anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights, presented by Wendy's.
Hey guys, I'm here with Roger Lang, district manager for Wendy's, a couple of his friends behind us. Roger, thank you so much for being part of this. Tell us what's going on at Wendy's.
Absolutely. A couple exciting things this year. First of all, for all the students, great deal for you. Bring your student ID into any Wendy's, buy any combo, and you get a free 12-ounce medium Frosty on us.
Roger, again, thank you so much for being part of Thursday Night Lights. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Great to be here.
Bradford able to convert on a couple of 3rd and long situations, converted a 4th down, kept the drive going, and they lead it by a score of 7-0 here on our anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights game of the week. Before the game, Bradford honors their 12th man, and tonight the honoree went to Tom Roders, who a longtime coach in the Bradford programs, been with the school since 1971, and personally know Tom, and for the local broadcast down here on the radio, as well as the Carthage College broadcast. And Tommy, a great guy. Talking before the break as that kick goes out of bounds on the touchback. But as we get another look at this touchdown, Tommy telling me he's actually the 13th man this season. Nice pitch by Wilson.
Well done. Hoping he put the ball right on him, a little jump to make the catch. Right between the defenders. And he gets a good run at the end in order to get it in the end zone.
Franklin, just 3 plays here so far in this first quarter.
The team that runs the ball throws it to score. So what do you think? It's a great game.
Smith, the single back from the pistol. McGuire will give it. And he stuffed the middle. Bradford was ready for that. Very little gain, if any.
For the Sabres, number 28, Ben Smith on the carry.
Smith, a 6 foot, 202 pound. One more time, let's head downstairs. Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, defensive coordinator from Franklin's questioning their effort right now, talking a lot about third down, how they need to get off the field, but really is questioning their effort early in the game.
All right, thank you, Mike. There's McGuire with the keep, and McGuire hammered as he got to the 30-yard line, close to a first down. Jack Heide, the senior, able to come up with the tackle for the Red Devils.
Yeah, that's it. They faked the zone run, and the quarterback kept the ball going the opposite way. Was able to break a tackle and get that first down. That's just what Franklin needed now. They need to keep the ball and get their defense some rest.
Initial first down for Franklin here tonight, as they get the football just at the 30-yard line, right at the first down marker. And movement up front late with the snap as the center, Robleski. Another Owen and Smith penalty flag. So 5-yard walk-off, 1st and 15 for Franklin. Not the kind of start they wanted to get off here tonight.
A little sloppy. This is a team, though, that can pick up 1st and 15 isn't that big a problem for them for a team that throws the ball as well as they do. They do have outstanding receivers.
One of them, Sean Kirk, lined up to the left side. And they'll work out a pistol. They'll roll McGuire to his left. Now pressure. McGuire on the run. He's going to throw it away. Smart thinking there on McGuire. Sets up a second down. Live to play another down here. As we remind you that starting September 17th, all of your favorite shows come together. Family Guy at 5, American Dad at 5:30, The Simpsons at 6, and Family Guy again at 6:30. It's Anna Mayhem, weeknights from 5 to 7, starting September 17th on My 24.
Well, that last play, was a rollout to the left, I think was Alex Storino, who got in his face and forced him to reverse his field. He came back to the short side and had nobody to throw it to.
Well, 2nd and long. Again, McGuire under pressure, gets out of it. Labors to his left, gets across the line of scrimmage out to the 27-yard line. Ball out, they're going to rule him down. Down by contact is finally to chase him down. For Bradford was Storino with the tackle and strip that time.
Well, this is just, when I was at practice, Bradford's practice on Monday, that's Jack Heide in there. They were working on their blitzes, and they were not going to sit back and just let them throw the ball. And you can see that that's been very effective. They've had at least one guy loose on every play almost, and they're breaking up that rhythm.
Storino, a senior for this Bradford defense. McGuire now, 3rd and 12, steps up, going over the middle. Man there, wide open, makes the catch at the 30. That is Brian Oates, tackled inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Chris Barata, and the late penalty marker thrown after the tackle. A big gain for McGuire, who was being flushed out of the pocket and left all alone, was Brian Oates, a fine wide receiver, 6 foot, 170 pounds.
Well, as I said earlier, McGuire's a big kid, 6'1", or 6'3", 190, and he has a lot of nerve. He stepped up in there and he got a receiver behind everybody, and that's what a passing team can do.
56-yard pickup on the pass play, but we have a penalty marker after the play.
I think it was a personal foul, maybe taunting on Bradford after the.
Point of emphasis once again this year by the WIA is sportsmanship. Verbal taunting will not be tolerated, and again, people seem to think some of the taunting is the physical stuff where you're pushing off and the shoulder bumping and that. But again, the verbal taunting will not be tolerated, and our crew tonight, led by Fred Strampy.
Get the signal.
This is going to go against Franklin, it looks like, unsportsmanlike.
Oh, wow, it's on Franklin. The receiver must have got up and said something.
Lewis Brown will have a word with his receiver, or two.
All right, there's really no excuse for that. It's a tough enough game the way it is. You made a good play, get up and get back in the huddle.
So the 56-yard pickup, but then take 15 away on the penalty, moves the ball out to the 31-yard line for a first down for Franklin. Late here in this first quarter, they trail 7-0. It's time they go to Smith. He'll pound it inside, gets it inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Ben Smith, senior, 6 foot, 202 pounds. at running back for Franklin.
One thing regarding Franklin's offensive line, they have 2 sophomore tackles playing tonight. Vince Hughes on the left side at 6'5", 215, and Brian Beck on the right side.
McGuire rolling right, pump fakes, has a running lane. Now likes to dump it out, looking for Oates again here on the near sideline, thrown incomplete. Little indecision there, it looked like on the part of McGuire, whether or not he wanted to run, and then whether he was going to throw it away or get it out to Oates.
He did change his mind there at the last second, and certainly was a completable pass. He just didn't get it on the money. You can see the defender changes his mind and decides to come to the quarterback, and he threw it behind the receiver.
3rd and 5 for the Sabres. Ball at the 26-yard line of Bradford. Wire going to go back over the middle into a crowd, incomplete. Trying to dump that one off. I think it was Falzon, the tight end, I believe, was the intended target out there. But thrown into a crowd. Good job defensively for Bradford.
Can't tell if that's Falzon or they might have brought Now they brought Conley in. They got 2 tight ends in Conley, and they're bringing Falzon on the outside here. They got the tall receivers.
Falzon is lined up here to the near side. Quirk lined up in a slot here to the right. 4th and 5, they'll go for it. McGuire gonna dump it out, has a man wide open, touchdown Franklin. Beautiful play, Sean Quirk. Quirk with 6 touchdown receptions a year ago, and McGuire and Quirk connect for a touchdown, and they're an extra point away from tying this one up.
Well, that again, he bought himself some time by rolling out here, and the defender lost track of the receiver. They're playing zone. You can see number 28 right there, got his back turned and lost the receiver. That's Jake Costabile. That can happen when you see that quarterback running. You forget what you're doing.
Falzon's kick is good, and we are tied at 7 with 1:13 remaining here in this one. That's twice now they've allowed the receiver to roam behind the defense. And
Well, in its own defense, when you're playing a part of the field rather than a particular man, sometimes it's easier to lose track of who's in your zone. Conley 6'5", and he's a big target. Obviously, a very good athlete, playing defense and offense both. He's the guy who had 20 tackles in the game last week.
And he drove the bus back, I understand.
Probably throwing him a bone so he'll keep playing that way. You know?
Well, these two teams hooked up. Was it 2 years ago in Week 8 of the 2010 season? One of the most exciting games we've had here on My 24. A 40-35 Franklin last-minute victory.
Right. Well, they know each other, even though they both have changed coaches since then. Lewis Brown was the defensive coordinator for Jeff Klemp, who is now the offensive coordinator for Franklin. So they didn't lose much there. And Jim Camerata has been here for 20 years, and now the head coach again for the second time.
Lyra standing inside the 10. We'll watch this sail all the way through the end zone. Falzon has a cannon for a leg. He's all conference. He's getting D1 interest, and tell you what, he's got a pretty healthy leg as well.
That hit on the end line, not the goal line. It hit on the end line.
So Bradford will get it at their own 20-yard line. And back to work for that rushing attack here. Let's see if they get Steve Carter back in here. Carter left in the very early in that first series with an injury. I don't see him out there as they take the field.
Yeah,
he is out there. Excuse me, he is out there. So good news for Bradford fans is Steve Carter, their senior running back in there now, behind Wilson, who will step in under center. And they'll give it to Lynch. Big hole up the middle. Lynch, the 5'6" back across the 30. Tumbles out to the 35-yard line. Good strong run by Lynch. Finally brought down by Buck. Colin Buck able to make the stop.
Well, that big offensive line is getting off the ball. And then there's too many white shirts going backwards, and Lynch has got a little burst right there, and there's a nice hole.
Well, that was we'll get to that in just a minute as we head down to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the defensive coordinator from Bradford telling the cornerback to trust his teammates and quit looking in the backfield. He said, trust your teammates, they're going to do their job, and you need to do yours. He got caught looking in the backfield a little bit on that play.
Wilson trying to connect with Lyra, and that was 6 points had that ball come into the arms of Lyra. Out there on the defense was Sean Kirk for the Sabres.
Well, Mike McGivern, what he was saying is what I was talking about. When they in the zone, you have a tendency to wander when you're playing defense rather than stay with your man, and I think they'll get that fixed. And that's Bradford taking advantage of their running game by using a play-action pass, sending their best receiver down the sideline. He didn't quite make the connection, though.
2nd and 10 from the 35. Lynch again trying to get the right side. He'll be tripped up in the backfield. Good defensive play. Conley there to make the stop.
Number 10, Bill Lynch.
Yeah, I like the way he plays. He's very quick, stays low, stays on his feet. You'll see him come across here, shed the blocker. There he is right there.
Number 42, Adam Conley.
Beat the right tackle that time, Ryan Hastings, on that right side of that offensive line. Hastings, a 5'8", 185-pound senior. He's going to have a handful here tonight.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mismatch. They probably were going to want to run the ball the other way.
Bradford going to let the time run out here in this first quarter. An exciting first quarter. We're tied at 7. Our Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's on My 24. Tie ball game after the first 12 minutes here in Kenosha on a steamy night. Part of your Labor Day weekend, getting off to an exciting start here tonight on our Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights, along with Hall of Fame football coach Dick Basham, John Weiser, Mike McGivern with us as well. Bradford starting to fire off on that offensive line, and we're going to talk about that as we ended the first quarter. That was kind of the gauntlet that was thrown down this week in practice by Coach Camerata.
Yeah,
He's expecting that offensive line to play much better this week.
And those 3 guys we talked about in the pregame are really the anchor, and they're getting it done.
Wilson looking left, tackled from behind in the backfield.
There he
Conley
is again
coming around the other side this time to make the sack for the Sabres.
Well, they flipped their defense around, and he was on the wide side of the field that time. So whoever has him doesn't have the same athletic ability. That was Graham Bullmore. He's a very good player, but doesn't quite have the athletic ability to stay with him. The other side, Ryan Hastings is a little undersized. He's a good player, but it's a mismatch physically.
First punt of the night for Bradford. Kowski gets a boot into this one. Fair catch signaled for and made on the run up that time by Brian Oates. So good field position here for the Sabres at their own 46-yard line. Start this drive here early in the second quarter. Again, we want to remind you that Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Light link. You'll also find our complete game schedule, archive videos of all of our games, current and past seasons. You can post your own photos and join the Thursday Night Lights conversation on Facebook and Twitter. That's my24milwaukee.com. I think the Fix man is putting pictures up as we speak. Try and run it. That's Austin Meyer, his first carry tonight, and not much doing up front. The Bradford defense able to stiffen, bring him down for no gain.
No, I've been impressed by Bradford's front 7, the linebackers and the linemen. They have done a good job of containing those running plays and forcing Franklin to actually have to use their passing game to get their first downs.
2nd and 10. A little bit of option. The pitch back to Smith, working the left side, breaks a couple of tackles across midfield, and finishes that run as he gets out of bounds. Short of the Bradford 40-yard line, Daquan Banks along for the ride that time for Bradford. As we get another look.
This was an excellent run. Well-executed play. They got the edge. You see the 2 tacklers there, but he runs right between them. Finally, Banks knocks him out of bounds. But Smith is a load. He's 202 pounds, a good-sized young man.
Smith again tries to go on the cutback move that time, and he's stopped for a short gain. Matt Capelli there, the sophomore on that defense, able to make the stop for the Red Devils.
It was a nice change of direction. I think the hole was stuffed up, and he just reversed it back to the right. So it shows he's got a little hop in his step as well.
Sabres go no huddle, 2nd down 9. Play action fake to Smith. They'll pitch it back to Meyer. Meyer trying to get the right side. He is leveled out near
Carvel
midfield.
Graham.
Carvel Graham Meet Austin Meyer.
How do you do? Yes. There's more where that came from. So yeah, that's the sign of experience right there.
Pitch was off as well, and I think
Well, he lost the handle on it, and while he was looking at it trying to find it, he got Carvel Graham snuck up on him and let him have it.
Lost back to the 49-yard line, 3rd and 19. Toss it down the sideline. It's out and incomplete. Had the receiver out there.
They had him well covered. They required a perfect throw. It was a little bit overthrown.
Quirk was the intended target. Graham out there defending. Along with Lyra out there defensively. Well, now what do you do here if you're Franklin?
I think you got to punt the ball. You don't want to give the running team the ball at midfield.
We're early here, first half yet. Early second quarter, I should say. 4th and 16.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. I would not give them the ball here at midfield. They're
Nope, they're going to drop.
That's why I'm announcing.
Yep, McGuire dropped back. He's going to pooch punt, and it's going to be short. Bradford's going to come away with excellent field position. That ball angles out near the 25-yard line. A 26-yard punt, and that's it. Out of bounds. They actually mark it out at the 29-yard line. About a 21-yard
They backed
kick.
him up a little bit, but that I don't know if that's more effective than what their punter could have done. We'll never know.
Well, 9.5 minutes to go here in this first half. Relatively good field position here for the Red Devils. Well, this season, penalty flags are being brought to you by Cohn & Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Cohn & Smith. And we thank them for sponsoring our penalty flags this season here on our Thursday Night Lights broadcast. Wilson in under center. Puts Lynch in motion. He'll give it to Carter. Fights his way forward for a couple. Short of the 35-yard line is Carter. Good to have him back in there. Nice surge by that offensive line.
They are getting off the ball and getting some movement.
Gain of 5, tackle by number 19, Josh Beckner.
Anytime you can get Bravo out there, 6'1", 285, get Bullimore out there ahead of you.
They're playing their 3-man front now, so now back to the 4-man. They don't have as much.
Carter up the middle again, gets the first down and more. Out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Pickup of 12 and a first down for Steve Carter and the Bradford Red Devils.
Now, if we have a replay on that, you're going to see 3 offensive linemen running down the field, pushing that line with a back behind him. That's an excellent line play right here. Number 70.
Bunn and Caro in on the stop, but again, the running game getting into that third level of that Franklin defense.
Bravno and Melitik really got out and moved the pile there.
1st and 10, Bradford at their own 46. Lynch met in the backfield, dropped. Almost immediately got back to the line of scrimmage. Conley was right there again defensively for Franklin. Adam Conley, team captain, said 20 tackles last week, but not only that, but he gets it done in the classroom. An excellent student at Franklin.
Franklin actually has several really good students on their team.
That can only help when the offers come in.
It really does.
No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. Just over 8 minutes to go, first half, tie ball game. Carter again picks his way over the left side, fights his way out of a tackle to midfield and is driven back. Pickup of about 4 on the play for Carter before he was driven back.
Well, this is interesting. Now it's 3rd and 5. They have, based on what they did early in the game, they have 2 downs to get the 5 yards. They're probably not going to punt.
Jared Caro there on the stop, along with Fernandez for Franklin. So a 3rd and 5 here for Bradford at the 49 of Franklin.
Franklin's in their 4-man front. They're expecting run as well. Counter.
Inside handoff on the counter to Lynch, and Lynch met in the backfield and dropped. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
That time it was, I believe, Bates.
They blitzed right into it.
Beat him on the blitz, you're right. Actually ran into his own player there. Actually, it was Robbie Harwell, the right guard, got pushed back into him and tripped him up in the backfield. So Bradford drive stalls at midfield. They will be forced to punt. Oates and Quirk standing inside the 20. Eric Witkowski, high snap, brings it down, gets it away.
Going to get a good bounce out of it.
And does. A Red Devil roll inside the 20, inside the 15. It'll roll dead at the 14-yard line. So 41-yard kick, no return after the 14, and it'll be a Sabre football here with 6.5 minutes to go in this first half. As we said, a tight ball game. When these two teams get together, it's going to be either high scoring, tight, 5-6 points, maybe get up into the 40s, or it could be a low scoring affair.
These programs are both winning programs, and even though Bradford had to has a lot of personnel change, it's about winning here, and they're not only winners as football players, but they're winners as how they behave themselves and that type of thing. That's the same for Franklin.
Smith on the option across the 15 out to the 16-yard line where he was sandwiched there. Banks able to drop him.
Franklin also is a winning program, and they take the game seriously. I watch both of these teams practice. They're very well coached. They're disciplined in practice. They work on things that are important, and that's it shows when they play the games.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. McGuire under pressure. Gets out of it. Now will scramble. It's across the line of scrimmage. May have gotten a yard or 2 out of that. Wirtz, the senior, able to make the tackle. Hayden Wirtz, 2-year starter on that Bradford defense.
Well, that front five or front seven of Bradford is really giving McGuire a hard time. He's not even getting his feet set, and he's getting pressure.
Some credit to Alex Capelli, the senior on the end there, with the early pressure that time. McGuire on 3rd down, throws it out, slant route complete. Out across the 40 to midfield.
Foul zone.
Foul zone will take it out of bounds at Bradford territory at the 35-yard line. The quick slant. Beretta again, the touchdown saving tackle for Bradford.
I was wondering when they were going to throw it to him. Joe Falzone is their tight end, but he's also got the athletic ability to be a wide receiver. He's 6'3", 210, but he moves very well. And I think he's probably going to get himself a scholarship to play college football.
23 receptions a year ago, 1 touchdown. And the Red Devils will take their second timeout of this first half. We'll take a break as well. Franklin on the move in a tie ball game. Our anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights, presented by Wendy's from Kenosha. Back after this. Time now for our Thursday Night Lights Real Fan Cam, presented to you every week by Wendy's. Wendy's, now that's better. Bradford Spirit Squad on hand here tonight. 1st and 10, Franklin after that big gain by Falzone. They give it back to Smith, wrapped up in the backfield, penalty marker down as Alex Storino pulls him down from behind, but we'll check out the Cone and Smith penalty.
I would guess holding based on where the penalty is.
Good play by Storino defensively. Lewis Brown on that far side, the holding call against Franklin. Get another look, maybe we'll see it here.
Right. The blitzing, I couldn't see the holding, but the blitzing that Coach Camerata has designed for this game has been extremely effective. It has, other than a couple of long plays, has really destroyed the timing for Franklin.
Penalty results in a 1st and 20 now for Franklin. The ball at the Bradford 46-yard line. McGuire, quick pump, now on the run. Bails out of the pocket, but runs into a host of Bradford players at the 44-yard line, led by Jack Heidi, I should say, and Alex Capelli.
Well, one thing I think McGuire's got to learn to do. He wasn't getting pressure there. He could have kept that play alive in the back, but he has a tendency, I think, to pull it down a little bit too quick. Maybe give his receivers a little bit more of a chance. He has very good receivers, and he has some. They can get open if he just keeps the play alive.
McGuire on 2nd and long. Looks right, now wants to throw left. Has a man
there
open. Behind the defense, touchdown. Sean Kirk got behind the defender once again. and takes it in 43 yards for the score.
Well, McGuire's got an outstanding arm. He made that throw look very easy. That was about a 50-yard throw, and that was right on the money. Sean Quirk is 36 catches last year for over 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. Plus, he's one of the only player that plays both ways on Franklin's offense and defense all the time.
Falzone will kick it to Racine for the extra point. 14-7, Franklin, their first lead of the ball game, and it comes on this 43-yard strike. Third time tonight that the Bradford defense has allowed a receiver to roam free in the defensive backfield. That's got to tighten up.
Well, that's a tough thing out there. One-on-one on the outside edge, the cornerbacks, they're out there on an island by themselves. And Franklin has very good receivers, and in this case, they're able to get behind him. And McGuire's on the money tonight. He's making those long throws, and they're right there.
Well, let's see how the Red Devils handle trailing for the first time tonight. They trailed 14-7 throughout much of that ball game last week at Hudson. And kind of that final score kind of misleading because Hudson got 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes of that one. One coming on a last-second interception return for a score on a Hail Mary pass.
I think 95% of the time the Bradford defense is playing very well. It's that 5% right now that's getting them in trouble, and that can be a little disheartening. But they just have to keep plugging away. They need to get themselves a turnover or two as a little reward, I think.
Well, will it clear the end zone this time? That's the question here for Falzone, and no doubt about it. It might go through the goalpost, and it does.
Hit the bottom of it.
Once again, we head downstairs to our third member of our crew, Mike McGivern.
We're on the sidelines with Jonathan Smith, Conan Smith. He left Chicago. Brewer game, we don't want to talk too much about that. Thanks so much for being part of Thursday Night Lights.
Oh, happy to be here. Happy to support the local programming.
You know, grassroots is very important to the firm. Jonathan is with Conan Smith, and certainly the stuff that they do in Milwaukee, you know, defense criminal attorneys, they can go anywhere in the state. Is that correct?
Yeah, we get all throughout the state of Wisconsin. Certainly our practice is localized, but we certainly get throughout the state, and criminal defense work for all your needs.
For all your needs. Thanks a lot.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. We thank Conan Smith for their sponsorship this year of our penalty flags. New sponsor this year on Thursday Night Lights. As Nate Wilson takes it up the middle, just shy of the first down, pickup of 9. Jared Carroll able to trip him up for the Sabres.
Well, Franklin was in their 3-man front that time, and it's a little soft up there, and they were able to get that movement. Wilson just turned it up and got 9 quick yards.
2nd and 1. A little confusion getting everybody set here for that right side of the offense. Hard count by Wilson, nearly drew them off. They'll give to Lynch. Lynch picks his way for the first down and more out to the 34-yard line. Bill Lynch, 5'6", 170, able to pick up the first down as Fechner able to come in.
You know, he's small enough, he's a little hard to see behind those big linemen. I think he gets in that secondary before everybody knows where he is.
1st and 10 from their own 35. 3:44 to play here in this first half. Carter pulls his way forward out to the 40-yard line. Nice run by Steve Carter, dragging Adam Conley with him for the pickup of 5.
That was a very nice run. He's not the biggest fullback you're going to see, but he's got a nice lean, and he's got nice short choppy steps. He's always got his feet up under him, can make the cuts that he needs to make.
2nd and 5. Banks in motion, penalty marker down. Another Conan Smith penalty flag here. Might be a legal formation here. Let's see. Yep. False start penalty here against Bradford.
Well, they didn't need that.
False start on the Red Devils brings up 2nd and 10.
Well, CW18 is TV to talk about. And this fall, America's Wildest Game Show is back and funnier than ever. Survey says. Laugh every weeknight as Steve Harvey hosts Family Feud at 6 and 6:30, 5 days a week starting September 10th on Milwaukee's CW18. Carter, a big run. Carter out near midfield. Took 4 Sabres to finally bring him down. short of midfield. 14-yard run and a first down. Beckner and Kirk finally brought him down.
Well, you see he's going to get hit in the backfield here by two people right there. Canoe and I think Fernandez or possibly Barris. And he got out of that tackle right there.
Coach, low center of gravity.
Yeah,
Kept
Barris
your
and
balance there,
Canoe
Carter. Nice job.
Little cutback. Stays on his feet, gets the extra yard.
Lynch.
That little counter play again.
They'll get a couple before they'll blow the play dead.
Number 10, Phil Lynch in the carry.
Eric Wimmer was there to
Number 26.
bring him down. 5'11", 190, a junior.
Second and 8 for the Red Devils.
Well,
Linebacker for the Sabres.
I think the Bradford staff's got to be pleased with how their team is playing so far. It's certainly a long game yet, but they're not playing like they did last week.
Counter to Lynch again. This time he breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage down to the Sabre 42-yard line. Good effort that time by the Phil Lynch, the senior, Jared Carroll on the stop.
Well, Scott Steger's really doing a good job of mixing up the play calls. The counters of the plays that start alike, look alike, but end up differently, and that's been very effective. There's the tackle pulling out.
Give to Carter. Carter bangs his way forward, shy of the first down, may have gotten a yard. Bring up fourth and short here for the Red Devils. They have one timeout remaining, clock rolling, minute 35 here in the half.
Yeah, they're about a yard short. They, based on what they did early in the game, they'll go for it here. Franklin is going to have their four-man front. They're going to press the line of scrimmage. They're in a goal line look right now.
This is where you rely on those three behemoths up front to try and move the pile forward. Carter, first down to the 40-yard line. Second effort that time for the senior.
Yeah, he's able to fall forward. That's like I said earlier, he keeps his shoulders down, keeps his weight going forward, got those short, choppy steps and pushes. There you go.
Well, be sure to listen to the Wendy's Varsity Blitz scoreboard show Friday nights at 7 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Get updates and scores from all the key high school football games in the area. Airing it out. We're out. Had it. Lost it. Incomplete. Marker down.
I have a feeling they're going to call interference. I didn't see it that way. I thought they touched the ball.
Lyra had the football. Now the question is, was the defender there early?
I thought he had made an excellent play, but it's easy for me to say that up here. Well, he reached his hand out, but it
was Sean Kirk defending back there.
He reached out and grabbed his arm as he was catching the ball. They're going to call interference. That's what the official saw. I can see why he made the call. It was a bang-bang call. He had a better view than I did, so
a 15-yard walk-off from the line of scrimmage will move it down to the 25-yard line and a first down for the Red Devils. Now they've got plenty of time here. 63 seconds to go in the half. You got one timeout in your pocket.
Well, that play-action pass has been very successful.
Well, that's the trick here.
I don't know if they have enough time to run it in.
Bradford gets into that offensive rhythm and lulls you to sleep with run after run, and now Sabres want to burn a timeout here just to get set defensively.
Yeah, I think it's important they don't give up a score here before the half.
Entertaining first half. Sabres with a couple of big pass plays tonight.
It's been a very good game. Both these teams are playing like they lost a game last week and they want to make up for it. You know, somebody's going to be 0-2 and at the end of the night. That's very unusual for these two teams.
Yeah, we ran into Lewis Brown before the ball game and said, "Boy, the guys look lively tonight." He says, "A loss in week one will do that."
Right. Yeah. and I at their practice, they were on their kids in a very positive way. But you could see that they were going to try to change the outcome this week based on what happened last week.
And the same true for Bradford. Jim Camerata said there were a lot of disappointed players on that bus ride home, a lot of angry players at the way they performed in that Hudson game. He even said to us that was not Bradford football in week one.
And it's probably something that he really couldn't do much about until they found out it wasn't the same team this year that they had last year.
Camerata, longtime coach here at Bradford, 27 years at Bradford. This is his second go-round as head coach. And
math teacher
here, very well respected. As Lynch trying to break a tackle, and he'll be met in the backfield for a loss of one. Yep, Conley was there again to disrupt the play for the Sabres. 50 seconds to go here in the half. We take another look.
Interesting to see if they chuck one down there now.
Well, some play action. The lefty wants to throw. Swings it out left side.
Oh.
Looking for DiBartolo. Incomplete.
He had him. He had position on the outside. It would have taken a perfect throw. Just a little bit too far to the outside.
Kirk was out there defending DiBartolo on the play. Incomplete pass stops the clock. 37 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, Bradford's got two very good receivers in Lyra and DiBartolo. They could easily spread it out here if they wanted to.
Zusdorf with the touchdown earlier. Carter up the middle. Down to the 23-yard line and sets up a fourth down here. Bradford still has one timeout remaining. Once again, it was Bates and Conley.
They're going to let it run down and take one shot at it.
Scott Steger, the offensive coordinator, standing with the line judge here and telling him exactly what he wants to do and when he wants to take the timeout. They might bring Witkowski in here to attempt a field goal. Let's see.
That's a possibility as well.
Yep, field goal unit going to come out here for Bradford. So interesting. They'll go for 3 here.
Well, his kickoff went into the end zone last time. The first one was a pooch, but the second one went in the end zone. So I think he's probably got enough leg to get it there.
Danny Simonson, the long snapper, has worked all through camp with one of the best long snappers here in the area. Brad Fortney, a former Carthage inside linebacker, was all conference last year and long snapper for all 4 years of his time at Carthage. And he had a tryout with the Chicago Bears earlier this summer as a long snapper.
Well, it's a good job in the NFL if you can get it, I'll tell you, because all you do is snap and go down and cover. And
so we'll see if
Simonson practice every week.
See if Simonson can get it back there to DiBartolo, who will be on the hole. This one will come at the, looks like it'll be a 38-yard attempt from the right hash. A little bit of a breeze into his face here for Witkowski. Good snap. And it's going to be a fake. DiBartolo wants to throw. DiBartolo going to be tackled from behind. Ball out. It goes out of bounds. Bradford trying some trickery on the last play. It blows up in their face. And the first half comes to an end.
Jake Harmon got after him.
They went for the fake.
There,
Yep. Good play there by the defense. Nobody fooled by the Sabres. And Franklin will take a 14-7 lead into the locker room here at Jaskowitz Stadium in Kenosha. 14-7. Sabres in front of the defending Division I state football champion Kenosha Bradford. And it's going to be an interesting locker room here for this Red Devil team. They fits and starts tonight. They got it going, got some rhythm on offense, and a couple of penalties set them back. And a couple of the defensive lapses in that secondary. We'll talk more about it in our halftime report coming up next. Our anthem, Thursday Night Lights, presented by Wendy's on My 24. Welcome back to our Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's Halftime Report, sponsored tonight by Zero in Wisconsin, brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. 14-7, Sabres on top of the Red Devils, and Bradford's going to have to shore that secondary up. They've allowed 3 times tonight, they allowed the receivers to scamper naked back there behind the secondary.
Yeah, but that's about the only bad thing they've done. That's certainly doable. I think they need to stay after the quarterback and just break up his rhythm so he doesn't get his feet to it. You can see that when he gets a chance, he can throw it. And he has very good receivers that can get open. So that'll be the key to the second half for Bradford. Can they defend the pass?
Well, a state trooper has Mike down on the sideline. Let's see.
Hey, I didn't like the sound of that at all. Gaetano Martino, Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Hey, let's talk a little bit about Zero in Wisconsin. Very important to you guys.
Definitely it is. Ultimately, our goal in Wisconsin is to get our traffic fatalities down to 0. Now, we firmly believe that through education, enforcement, and engineering, we can accomplish that goal.
Gaetano, how long have you been doing the things that you do, and tell us a little bit about what you do?
I work in the Motor Carrier Enforcement Division of the Wisconsin State Patrol. That's the big truck enforcement. I supervise a group of wonderful inspectors along with my sister, who is the other supervisor in the southeast region here. We weigh the trucks, make sure that they meet the federal safety compliance, that type of thing, to help keep the trucking industry in check in Wisconsin.
Hey, let's talk a little bit. We'll get back to this. Let's talk a little football over at Kenosha Christian Life. First year program, JV program. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. So far we're 1-1. It's like I say, it's a first year program. Got a great group of kids, good coaching staff, and a lot of excitement at the school about football.
Hey, you guys have is it the Convincer that's here? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we got the Convincer outside. We'd like everybody to come and get a check on it. Basically what it's showing you is how dangerous it is not to be buckled up in a rollover crash. And when you see it, it's extremely frightening.
You know, I got a chance to see it last year, and I got to tell you, it's really frightening. As it turns, if you're not buckled in, you kind of get thrown.
It shows the ejection capabilities, and ejection in a crash is the worst case scenario. You just get bounced around inside that vehicle. No matter how safe a vehicle is manufactured, seat belts, airbags, if you're not buckled up, you're in danger.
Hey guys, Zero in Wisconsin, very important. Listen to him. Not only is he smart, he's an offensive coordinator. They're always smart.
That's right.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, you're not going to get any argument up here on an offensive coordinator being the smartest guy in the field, are we?
I won't argue with that.
14-7, Sabres on top of the Red Devils here in week 2 of an 8-week season, and so really short turnaround from a non-conference game right into conference play. And really, I think all eyes of the Southeast Conference looking at this game because this is going to put somebody a leg up early in conference play.
Right, and it looks to be like a lot of the conferences this year, a very balanced conference. That there's several teams that if they get on a run early are probably going to run away with the championship.
Yeah, it's an interesting league this year. Muskego moving out, going out to the Classic 8 out in the Waukesha with the other Waukesha schools, and Indian Trail right here. Indian Trail Hawks, their first season under Dave McGuire, the former defensive coordinator over at Tremper High School.
Yeah, I think we were down here a couple of years ago for a game. I think we saw their JV team or some team practicing on it. That was a good-looking group of kids. They're probably their juniors now, so they're playing a varsity schedule this year with no seniors. Next year, I think they'll step up and they'll be a factor, but I know they're well coached, and this is a tough league to move into with no seniors, but we'll see how they do.
14-7, Franklin on top of Kenosha Bradford. We'll step out, take a break, back with more of our halftime right after this on My 24. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. A great evening here, 14-7, Franklin with the lead on a great night. Speaking of greatness, how about the great folks at First Bank Financial Center? Unfortunately, they couldn't be with us here tonight, but Dave Sutton, Retail Wealth Management Vice President, sent along this message.
Hi, I'm Dave Sutton, Vice President of Retail Banking and Wealth Management at First Bank Financial Center. We are a proud sponsor of Thursday Night Lights High School football. As a community bank serving southeastern Wisconsin for over 153 years, we emphasize the local communities that we serve. We have great customer service, local decision making, bankers that know our customers by their name. We volunteer, live, and work within the communities that we serve. First Bank Financial Center is the #1 community bank small business lender in the entire state of Wisconsin, and we have local servicing. We've also been awarded as the top workplace for 3 years running. With these successes, we've recently expanded, adding locations in Brookfield, Mequon, and coming soon to Grafton. We will be here supporting Thursday Night Lights, so stop by our booth and say hi. Enjoy the game.
Our fine friends at First Bank Financial Center, we thank them for their continued support of our Thursday Night Lights broadcast here on My 24. A couple of touchdown tosses in that first, actually all 3 touchdowns tonight via the air. Kind of surprising there, but maybe not so much on the Franklin side, but on the Bradford side, using the run to set up that pass for their touchdown.
Well, yeah, I said Scott Steger's done a really good job of mixing up his plays. He started the game by running the ball and establishing that run. Got the defense creeping up on the line of scrimmage, trying to stop those early down plays, and then he started hitting them with some play-action passes, and they were able to complete a couple. They had another one where they got an interference call and got a first down out of that. So it's been an effective way for them to run the game, and if they can keep that up, they're going to probably get back in here and at least tie it up. Franklin, on the other hand, their running game hasn't been as effective, but they've been able to hit a couple home runs on the passes.
It's interesting because Bradford favors the run about 80% of the time, and Franklin favors the pass about 80% of the time. Both need rhythm on their offense to get things going.
Well, and that's what the defenses are trying to do, is take away the rhythm. Bradford has been blitzing Franklin a lot, and lately Franklin has been trying to come off the edges and try to mess up the timing on the running game, although they haven't been as effective, I think, as Bradford has. But that's that cat and mouse game that goes on in football, which makes it what we call the greatest team game, because all 11 guys have to work together because their assignments are coordinated. To the average fan, sometimes it doesn't look that way, but it's just not 22 guys running around out there. That's very well coordinated, and both of these teams are well coordinated.
When we come back, we'll have highlights of our first half, share some statistics with you as well from Jaskowitz Stadium in Kenosha. 14-7, Franklin on top of Kenosha Bradford. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights halftime report, sponsored by Zero in Wisconsin, brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Sabres up by a touchdown here in this first half as we get set to share some of the highlights of this first half. And with Bradford, as we said, the running game trying to set up that passing game as we take a look.
Well, here you see Wilson handing off to
Christian Banks.
Yeah, right. Come around the left side. A good play on defense by Franklin. Here's the play action pass to Zulsdorf. Makes a nice catch. Turns up the field. Is able to get the touchdown.
Zulsdorf, his first touchdown reception of the year. Wilson,
good throw
his
by
first
Wilson
touchdown
too,
pass of the season. He had a touchdown rushing
good.
last week.
He has a right to
McGuire, on the other hand, had some
pressure right here. But you see what he's a very good athlete. Smart kid. He can take a play and keep it alive, although he didn't get a lot out of that one. Here's a touchdown pass, I believe, to Conley. He's rolling out. You can see where the defensive back loses him, and he's got a 6'5" target. That's a pretty easy play.
Watch Smith
Here's
finish
the option.
this run.
This is Ben Smith, the running back. He's a big guy. He's got nailed pretty good on the sideline there. Here's the pass to Joe Falzone. This is a guy I really like. I would get the ball to him a little bit more if I was Franklin. He is a big kid who is strong and can run.
And the touchdown pass to Quirk.
Yep, that's that long arm, that good arm, and the ability to break one, even though you make 3 good plays and all of a sudden in that 4th one they nail you. It can be a little disheartening, but that's the way the game goes at times.
Well, McGuire throwing 2 touchdown passes here tonight. As we take a look at the stats here this first half, and decidedly in favor of the Sabres here on the passing yardage.
Well, it's what you expect. Bradford's a running team, and they're tripled the running on Franklin, but Franklin has really done a good job with the long passes and total yardage. So they're up about 60 yards or 70 yards, but I don't know if that tells the whole story. Turnovers are 0-0. That's really good. Both coaches, I'm sure, are very happy with that. Bradford has controlled the ball and maybe controlled the game, but they've got to get points on the board. They just can't be happy with 2 or 3 first downs and then give it up.
So these two longtime foes here in the Southeast Conference set to do battle here in this second half. We'll take a break. Third quarter action set to come your way next here on My 24. 14-7, Franklin on top of Bradford as we get set for third quarter play here at Jaskowitz Stadium in Kenosha. And we want to thank our good friends at Milwaukee High Lift for helping bring these great pictures to you tonight. They've provided the scissor lift for our cameras tonight, so for any aerial platform need, rental, sales, or service, call the great folks at Milwaukee High Lift or visit them online at MilwaukeeHighLift.com. Gorgeous night. Got the August blue moon up. Second moon of the month.
Yeah, right.
Shining down on this beautiful facility here at Indian Trail High School on the south side of Kenosha.
Yeah, this really is a nice stadium, I'll tell you.
Franklin to kick off here to begin this second half. Danny Lyra standing near his own goal line as Falzone, who's kicked every one of them into the end zone, will do so once again. Automatic touchback in high school football, so the ball will be moved out to the 20-yard line. We'll see if the Red Devils here to start this drive, as I said, got off to a good rhythm there to end that first half, just stalled out. That one penalty kind of held them back, and then elected to go for that field goal in the final play. As you see Scott Steger, final instructions to his offensive unit out there. Steger, the offensive coordinator here at Bradford.
You know, in that final play, that fake field goal, you want to give Jared Carroll from Franklin credit. He's the guy who ran down that DiBartolo on the fake. I didn't give him credit at the time, but he's the guy who did it. It was a big play for Franklin.
Nate Wilson at quarterback. And he'll hand it off. This is Banks coming around, trying to get the corner on the right side. Nothing doing. The Sabre defense had that one snuffed out. Get another look here. Good pursuit by the defensive front for Franklin. Colin Buck right there to trip him up.
Brought down by number 42, Adam Connolly.
Coming this way. Canoe gets in there and gets a handle on him. Trips him up a little bit, and then they finish him off at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and long here for the Red Devils. Just inside the 20-yard line. Penalty marker flies as Carter tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Again, our Conan Smith penalty flags tonight. We've had a lot of them here through the first 2+ quarters.
Right. It's like Franklin's, they're playing their 4-man front. Normally they have a 3-down lineman. They have 4 now, and they're also brought a linebacker up. Looks like they're trying to cause a little confusion up there and throw the timing off in the running game for Bradford.
And we'd like to thank First Bank Financial Center, our first down sponsor this season. First Bank Financial Center, discover the community bank difference.
Sabres decline the penalty, brings up 3rd and 11 for the Red Devils.
Hey, they've got the ball spotted out here near the 23-yard line. So
well,
decline the penalty, take the down, and set up a 3rd and long here for Bradford. Interesting call here by head coach Lewis Brown to take the play rather than the penalty.
I would look for a play-action pass here.
Yeah, that's exactly. Wilson under pressure, and down he goes. Conley getting there. A pair of bookends there at the quarterback.
Ends,
as both Conley
and Canoe are both there, and just made a sandwich out of him.
Brings up 4th down for the Red Devils.
That's a huge play.
Yep, that is a huge play as the Franklin defense gets a 3 and out.
I think they at halftime, I'm sure the defense was made pretty clear to them they need to do a better job up front, and they have.
Witkowski with a little bit of a breeze behind him will punt from under the shadows of his own goalpost.
Good
nice
kick.
Spiraling kick. Oh, and there's confusion on the return. They let it hit the turf. It'll take a Red Devil roll inside the 30 and will roll dead at the 26-yard line. A little confusion there between the return unit of Oates and Meyer, or I should say Oates and Kirk.
Well, what happened was the ball started out towards Kirk, but it had a little curve on it, and it curved over to Oates, and he was going up the block for Kirk, and it went over Oates' head. So I can see how it happened. It's unfortunate for Franklin, but very fortunate for Bradford because they ended up way back at their own 26 or 7-yard line here.
And we remind you, Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You'll find a complete game schedule, archive videos of all of our games, current and past seasons, my24milwaukee.com. Run on 1st down here for the Sabres out to the 31-yard line. Smith on the carry, brought down by Veit.
Well, that's a good, successful play. They got 4 yards, so they're on schedule to get a 1st down and 3 downs. So that's all they want out of that first play.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. They'll fake to Smith. They'll pitch it back. Meyer coming across for the 1st down, out across the 40, near the 43-yard line. Austin Meyer, the junior, 5'11", 151, with the carry as they were keying on Ben Smith that time as we take another look.
Yeah, that was very well executed. Fake the play they ran on 1st down, and just step up and when the defender commits to the quarterback, pitch the ball and get what you can.
From the 44, 1st down. There again bangs his way across the 45 out to the 47-yard line.
Again, that's a very simple play, a little zone, what's called a zone read play, where the quarterback reads whether he should give it or keep it, and he's been, for the most part, giving it all night.
Storino make the tackle for Bradford. 2nd down and 7. Just underway, 3rd quarter. Franklin with the 1-score lead. McGuire wants to step up, delivers over the middle, thrown behind the receiver, incomplete, looking for Brian Oates over the middle that time. The pass was behind him and a penalty marker down.
Probably a holding call. Nice job of McGuire stepping up that time into the pocket, getting rid of the ball.
Got a holding call here against Franklin. Conan Smith penalty here. The 10-yard walk-off against Franklin. McGuire, a junior, 6'3", 191, at quarterback here for the Sabres. Threw for over 1,600 yards in 9 games last year. Again, what's interesting there, only 8 picks for all the time he's threw it up
really
last year, and
yeah.
defense couldn't come away with it.
Well, now they'll be tested. They've got about 20 yards there for 2nd and 20.
We'll move it all
This
the
is
way
where
back
a good passing game can come in handy to get out of you. I don't know. They don't run many screens. It'd be interesting to see if they do have a screen pass.
That would be a nice call here.
Yep.
We'll see. 2nd and 20. McGuire wants to swing it out to Oates near side. Makes the catch across the 35. Dropped down at the 36-yard line. Daquan Banks on the stop.
Well, they took what the defense gave them, which wasn't enough to threaten the first down. They got 6 or 7 yards is all they got on that.
3rd and 17 for the Sabres.
Well, this is the down that has hurt Bradford in that first half, where the receiver has been able to get through the 3rd level and behind the secondary.
It's a good interception down because you know that they have to put it in the air. They're going to run the quarterback
draw. McGuire breaks a tackle, still on his feet. Gets it across midfield. Nice run by McGuire. Gets them into a reasonable position here. Reasonable position, I should say, as McGuire helped up on the play as we get another look.
It's a really good call because it's a safe play. 3rd and long is a good interception down as the defense is playing back and they know what has to happen. So he put it in position where they have a shot at it. And it appears that they're not in a kicking formation, but they do have the ability to drop the quarterback back and have him punt it. It doesn't appear that they're going to do that, though.
4th and 3 from the Bradford 49. That's exactly what they'll do. McGuire will just pooch kick it, end over end style. It'll roll inside the 20, dead at the 18-yard line.
Very effective because you don't have anybody back to return it.
31-yard punt, no return. Well, coming this fall to My 24, it's everyone's favorite Dr. House on Tuesdays. And on Wednesdays, criminals find that their number is up on Numbers. Don't miss 2 great new shows this fall on Milwaukee's My 24. Second possession of the second half here for Bradford. 14-7 ball game, 7.5 minutes to play in this 3rd frame.
See if they hit him with a pass on 1st down here just to... Nope.
Inside handoff, Carter with room. Carter across the 25 out to the 30-yard line before he's stopped by Jared Carroll.
Number 32, Steve Carter on the carry.
Just a simple straight-ahead reverse pivot by the quarterback, handed to the fullback straight ahead. A little folding block by the lineman, the tackle block down, the guard kicked out.
12-yard pickup by Carter. Good to
well
have him
done.
in. He was
very well done.
Shaken up early, if you were with us right at the beginning of the game. Carter sustaining a small cut under his eye as they try and throw it out. Nearly picked off, should have been intercepted that time. Good defensive effort that time, broken up by Cullen Buck, the senior outside linebacker, defensive captain and all-conference player from a year ago.
Yeah, he's haven't called his name much tonight, but they haven't been his way, but he was there to make that play.
DiBartolo, the intended receiver.
Almost tipped it. If DiBartolo hadn't gone down, he might have been able to make that play. There's the same play they ran on 1st down.
Not much running room for Carter as he'll pick up a couple. Sets up 3rd and long for Bradford. That Sabre defense up front led by Adam Conley once again. Conley on his way to double-digit tackles for a 2nd week in a row.
What Bradford likes to do is they like to take their left guard, Abe Bravo, who's 6'1", 285. Pretty agile for a guy that size, and they like to pull him out and lead the play.
Another critical third down here for Bradford. 3rd and 7 from their own 33. Banks in motion. He'll get the pitch. Coming near side. Cuts it up across 35. Diving forward to the 40. It's going to be close to a first down. Second effort that time. May have gotten it. Jared Caro on the bottom of that pile making the stop for Franklin. We'll see if the stretch was good for a first down.
Well, a little toss sweep right here. You see Colin Buck gets up here and gets a hand on him right there. They can't quite make the play. But he does knock him off balance where it can get him down. It's going to be close for a first down. I believe they're going to measure.
They'll bring the sticks in from the far side and measure this one up.
This is the first measurement we had this year, I think. I don't think we had any last week in that game.
I can test out my new glasses tonight.
Yeah, right. I didn't get a good look at it, so I'm not going to predict what happened. I think they got it.
Yep, by the stripe of the football. So a Red Devil first down out across their own 40-yard line, keeps the drive alive here for the defending Division I state champion. Has a nice ring to it here in the Kenosha area.
I know they're proud of it. He should be because they earned it.
The community really behind this Bradford team, and quite a run last year. Jed Kennedy now up at Pulaski. Got his team off to a good start last week with a win over Sheboygan North. 1st and 10. And the ride goes to Carter, and Carter diving forward over the right side gets a couple.
Just a little veer dive play straight ahead.
Colin
surge
Buck
by the line.
Called his name a couple of times. Right. Buck brothers on defense here for the Sabres. Colin, the senior. 5'9", 180. Counter play.
Defended very well.
Yeah, Banks bottled up immediately on the play. Again, Conley was right there defensively, along with Fernandez.
Eric Wimmer was in on that too.
Tackle by number 19, Josh Beckner, brings up 3rd and 6 for the Red Devils.
Another critical third down for Bradford on this drive. They were able to convert that extra.
They'd rather have it be Banks. 3rd and 3 than 3rd and 6, but they've been able to deal with it fairly well tonight with the long yardage. See if they come up with a play-action pass.
Lynch in motion. He'll get the pitch. Tries to cut it up. Lynch will be stopped short of the first down, wrapped up near his own 48-yard line.
4th and 2 now. I don't know. This is probably a little bit too far to go for it at midfield, especially down by one. I think I'd play for field position here, but this is not their style. I think it looks like they're probably going to go for it.
Once again, Colin Buck there to make the stop, and the Devils appear to be going for it here on 4th down. 4:40 to play here in this third quarter.
Might try to draw him offside. You never know.
Banks in motion. They'll give the inside keep to Carter. He'll get the first down at the 49.
Well, they went in beside their two best linemen, Graham Bullmore and Abe Bravo, and that's a smart thing to do.
This is the thing that Bradford was able to do all year long last year, and that's grind you down with that offensive line. As you said, Bullimore, Bravo, Harwell, all
Robbie Harwell also pulled him out from his right guard position to kick out the defensive end.
From the Sabre 49, 1st and 10 Bradford. And Wilson on a keep, cuts it upfield, tripped up, falling forward though, picks up nearly 5. Good play defensively there to get him by the shoelace. Fernandez and Barris, I believe.
Yeah.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 upcoming.
And now they bring in Deshaun Bates. Franklin did on defense, goes their 4-man line. Trying to
Carter,
take care of the run here.
Right side, first down and more. Inside the 38, down to the 37-yard line. Jared Caro took him down, but not before another Red Devil first down.
Well, Franklin brings in another lineman and takes out a linebacker. They have 8 men up front, but it's still not enough to stop Carter on that first down play.
First Bank first down. First Bank Financial Center, our first down sponsor once again this year.
Bradford's also running the clock out.
Here's Lynch. Little scat back, gets it inside the 35, down near the 30-yard line. Boy, he is tough to see. If you're defending up front, if you're one of those guys like Conley or Harmon or Bates up there, it's hard to see when he gets going.
Right.
Let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, was listening to the offensive coordinator on Bradford's side and talking to their line, and I think he's obviously this line is starting to listen a little bit. He said you need to start taking control of this game a little bit. We need a long drive, and here we go.
Well, Banks able to haul in that pitch with running room down the sideline, inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line, pickup of 9 and a first down. Jake Fernandez ushering him out of bounds.
Well, a little toss sweep again. And Colin Buck had a chance to maybe trip him up, couldn't quite get it done. Sheds a tackler there and gets pushed out of bounds by
Watch the
Jake
block
Fernandez,
by Lynch here
right.
to seal it off. Watch this, right there.
Right there, right. That's one thing the Bradford backs have always done. They get to carry the ball, but they also get to block for each other. Part of the deal.
Sabre 23-yard line, 1st and 10 Bradford. Carter taking a couple of tacklers with him down to the 20-yard line, pickup of 3. Harmon credited with the stop for Franklin.
Number 53, Jake Harmon, brings up 2nd
And again, as you said, Dick, taking time
Right
off
there,
the
right,
clock. Watch
yeah.
that seal block right there.
Right
Just
inside.
enough.
Not a big hit, but he had got great position. It gave the the running back a chance to get out and use a stiff arm on the next defender.
Fumble, Wilson gets it back, still on his feet to the 15, dancing his way forward inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line. 12-yard run on the fumble that time. Wilson able to pick it up. Sean Kirk finally rode him down.
No, there's one that got away from Franklin. The ball's on the ground. They didn't see it. Wilson was able to pick it up and run for the first down.
This drive started with just over 7.5 minutes
Well, that's what
remaining
I started to say a few minutes ago, that this is Bradford football. They want to run the clock out. They are behind, but they're on their way down to possibly tying it up. Go ahead if they go for 2. And that's what they want to do. As I said earlier, they want to shorten the game. And that's what they're doing right now.
1st and goal just inside the 10. Lynch cuts his way inside, nothing doing.
Yeah, good pursuit there.
Good pursuit by the Sabre defense. Looked like it was Cano.
Yeah.
The junior, 6'5", 235.
Closed that down really well.
Number 10, Bill Lynch on the carry.
You get another look here.
Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Red Devils.
58, that's Jason Barris. Yeah, that's nice.
Barris was right there. Nice job.
Yep. They kept him running sideways. That's the key. Keep him going east and west, as we say, rather than north and south.
Wilson wants to throw.
140.
Lyra overthrown, incomplete. Lyra in the corner and kind of came up short. Sean Quirk there defensively.
He was open for a minute, but Quirk recovered fairly well and was able to get in position to defend it.
Now sets up 3rd and goal.
Well, I'm sure they'd like to get a touchdown out of this. A field goal isn't.
Ball spotted at the 10-yard line of the Sabres. Carter, the lone man in the backfield, has Lynch and Banks on the wings. Banks in motion, he'll get the toss. The sweep coming left side. Breaks the tackle at the 10. Dives forward at the 5. Couldn't find the pylon as he stumbled down to the 3-yard line. You can see he was swiveling his head looking for that before Quirk finally got him out of bounds.
That's an excellent effort, though. Steps out of it. One tackle right here. Cuts up inside. Steps out of the tackle. Gets another yard.
Right there, you could see he pulled his head up. He was looking for that pylon, couldn't find it. And now a critical 4th down for Bradford. Watch this right here. Kept his balance and then.
I think he wanted to put the ball out and touch the pylon for a touchdown.
They're on their feet here at Jaskowitz Stadium. 4th and goal from the 4. Carter, touchdown, Red Devils. Elementary, Watson, that's what that was.
Now they gave him the motion. It looked like it was going to run a sweep. And they handed it off to the fullback right straight inside. I'll have to look and see if we had a replay whether they had an unbalanced line there.
Well, you take Robbie Harwell, that big right guard at 6'4", 295, and you tuck Carter behind him. Extra point away from tying it up. The ball down, kick on the way, and it is good. We're tied at 14 with 1:09 remaining here in this third quarter.
Nice drive.
Nearly 6.5 minutes off that clock here on this drive.
Yeah, there you see the Abe Bravo pulling out and kicking out the end, right side of the line, blocking down. The guard pulls out. Here you need to see big number 70 right there. He finishes off. Fullback runs right in behind him into the end zone. Well done. Block down. Nice job by number 62, which was Graham Bowmore. They brought him over to the strong side.
The winning number is 2.
So a nice drive here for Bradford to tie this one up. And as you said, shortening the game down, taking nearly 6.5 minutes off the clock.
Now they just can't let Franklin hit a home run here. They need the defense needs to play smart and tight.
Brian Oates and Austin Meyer will stand deep.
Interesting to see if they kick it deep. The first time they pooched it, the second time they kicked it into the end zone.
Still a pretty good breeze at his back here for Witkowski.
Franklin's lined up on the 10. They're not playing deep, so I think they're anticipating a shorter kick possibly.
So we said that breeze still picking up, knocked that ball off the tee, so Witkowski gonna balance it up one more time. Again, short kickoff. They're taken by the short man up front out across the 30. Spotted at the 31-yard line.
On the return, number 22.
Colin Buck.
Sent downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, I'm here with the athletic director, head boys basketball coach at Kenosha Bradford, Damon James. Damon, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out and supporting Bradford Athletics.
You bet. Last year's football team going all the way to state, how fun was that?
Exciting. Exciting. It's priceless. You wish everybody could be a part of that, and we're going to continue that tradition for years to come.
Hey, real quick, how's the boys basketball team going to be?
Competitive. Competitive. We'll be small. We'll be quick. We're going to be fun.
Save the tape. We're going to take him up on that. They're going to be competitive. Thanks so much, Damon.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for coming out.
You bet.
Always good to see Damon James now in the new role of athletic director at Bradford High School with the departure of Jed Kennedy. Not only head basketball coach, but also running the athletics over there at Bradford High School. False start penalty, so 1st and 15, picked off. Intercepted, it'll be a pick six back to the end zone. Touchdown, Bradford. Mitch Kesey, the safety, takes the pick six back 37 yards for the touchdown.
Well, they hit him right in the chest. He set on that. He saw it coming, timed it just perfect, made a great play. And that's going to be one he'll remember for a long, long time.
McGuire never saw him, as you said, Coach, just sat back in his zone, and all of a sudden he was there returning at 37 yards for the score. The extra point. And it is good. 21-14 with 54 seconds to go here in the third quarter. As we get another look at the first turnover of the ballgame.
Here. Intended for foul zone. Not much you can say. It's right there. A picture tells the words. Tells the story. And look from behind the quarterback. And he read that all the way. He's a free safety. Took it to the house, as they say.
Kesey's first touchdown of the year, a 6 foot, 160-pound senior, for the Red Devils with the turnover.
But the only thing you can say is they have a whole quarter to recover, and they're going to get the ball back right away. So but that wasn't a very good start. They had a penalty on the first down and thrown an interception on the second. They need to get need to focus on what needs to be done here.
Clark Kent into Superman here for Mitch Kesey.
Yeah, right. And he's not the starter. He's in, not sure who he's in for, but he's not normally the starting safety.
This time they'll kick it away. It will angle its way to the sideline and go out of bounds. Not what you wanted there. He's going to try and put all of his foot into that one and for the touchback, but shanked it off
to the left,
to the left, and it goes out of bounds. And so Franklin will come away with excellent field position here. Once again, downstairs to Mr. Mike McGivern. Well, he thought we were going to get it to Mike. We'll wait just a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, Franklin's offense coming back out here at their own 35-yard line. Once again, Mike McGivern, what do you have?
Hey guys, quarterback from Franklin taking full blame for that pick six. Taking full blame. Defensive coordinator not happy with tackling on the Franklin side. Said, fellas, you need to wrap up. I want four hats to the ball, which means, guys, everybody to the ball. Let's get it going. So nobody real happy on the Franklin sideline right now.
Timeout taken here by Bradford. And
I'm not sure if they didn't have, only had 10 guys on the field, or they didn't like something because the defensive coordinator came running down.
Well, check out the Wendy's Varsity Blitz High School Football Coaches Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Our own Mike McGivern, along with Joe Cook, will talk to different coaches each week at Saturday mornings at 10 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. This is something, too, they worked on in practice, is getting the calls out defensively.
Right,
and if they're confused, if linebackers are calling something that the linemen aren't hearing or picking up, there's another play the linemen have to pick up based on that call. I know they went over that several times earlier in the week in practice.
The coach was running on the field, running right at the official. Hey, he knew it wasn't what he wanted, and was able to get the timeout before they snapped the ball.
Bradford getting a 37-yard touchdown and interception return for Mitch Kesey to retake the lead here, 21-14, late here in this third quarter. McGuire blitzes on, gets it out, complete to Falzone down the far sideline, breaks a tackle and out of bounds near the first down marker. Mitch Kesey again.
That was a good throw, though. That was a long out throw, and that was right on the money. You can see here he steps into it. Got a good quick release, ball thrown to the outside.
Facing some
able to
pressure
get him out
there.
of bounds.
Hayden Wirtz up the middle as we get a look at the blitz here.
Right in his face.
2nd and 2, they'll swing it out. Falzone tripped up immediately. Nice open field tackle by Carvel Graham. The senior, 5'10", 180, making a play defensively to take away a first down here by Falzone.
Well, that was a good player against a really good player. I like what Franklin's doing. I think Falzone is a real threat because of his size and speed. But Carvel Graham was up to the task there and took him down right on the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 1 for the Sabres at their own 44. Hand it off Smith. Sidesteps a tackler, picks up the first down out to midfield.
Nice little cutback there to get the first down.
Number 28, Ben Smith on the carry.
Jay Mangum
Number 15,
able to make the stop.
It's not always the best to
Along with
be the running back in a one-back system where they throw the ball a lot, because once in a while you get to carry the ball, you have to do a lot of blocking, but he does a good job of carrying the ball.
Third quarter comes to an end here at Jaskowitz Stadium in Kenosha. Good one brewing here. Bradford back on top, 21-14 over Franklin. Our anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Thursday Night Lights, presented by Wendy's. Fourth quarter set to begin here in Kenosha. Bradford regaining the lead 21-14 on the 37-yard interception return for a touchdown by Mitch Kesey. Meanwhile, Franklin now with a first down at midfield to start this fourth quarter. And there's, look at maybe the go-to guy here in this fourth, Joe Falzone.
All right.
First and 10 Sabres. McGuire pump fakes, wants to swing it out, looking for Falzone. Short hopped incomplete. Out to defend that time for the Red Devils.
Well, they had that play. They had the position they wanted on that play. They had Falzone in a little bubble type, they call it bubble screen, where he just bellies back. But I think McGuire double clutched it until they lost their timing.
Jack Heide was there on coverage in front of Falzone. 2nd and 10. Smith cut back to the middle, wrapped up. Brought down for minimal gain that time. Alex Capelli, senior, 5'10", 205, able to make the stop. Gain of 1, 3rd and 9 upcoming.
3rd and 9 for the Sabres.
Let's watch out for Falzone here. Looks left, now right, wants to fire it downfield. Ball in the air, and it's nearly caught. Intended out there for Sean Quirk, but good coverage there on the double team. But Daquan Banks able to knock it away incomplete as we head back downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, if you listen to Sports Radio 1250 WSSP at all, Tim Allen talks about Kenosha Bradford baseball and his son Ty. This is him. Ty, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Who do you like? Obviously, you like Bradford in this one.
Obviously, Bradford.
Yeah. Baseball-wise, you had a good summer.
Yep, had a good summer. Did good and trained hard in the off season.
No doubt. Tim Allen's proud of this young man.
Tim Allen, a good buddy of mine, and we go way back, along with Sparky Pfeiffer over there at SSP. As we'll go with the punt here by McGuire.
Gets a good roll.
Inside the 5 and down
there you go.
At the 2. Nice job getting down there to stop that ball from getting into the end zone by Brian Oates.
Well, that's just
so
what,
Bradford stacked up back at their own 4-yard line.
Well, there's one of two things could happen here. Well, there's a lot of things that could happen, I guess, but Bradford could take the ball and go 97 yards and run most of the clock out. Or Franklin can play some defense and get the ball back in good position. That's what they're hoping for, and Bradford's hoping for the long drive and run the clock.
Banks and Lynch will work the wings. Carter will be back in at fullback here for the Red Devils. Now they fake with Lynch in motion. Now he'll get him set. They'll give the inside handoff to Carter, the fullback. He'll bruise his way across the 5. Out to the 7-yard line. Again, a reminder, this season penalty flags are brought to you by Cone and Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Cone and Smith. Timeout for an injury here for Bradford.
Steve Melitek, the center, is down.
Well, injury is really taking its toll here for Bradford. Still waiting for
can't tell if he's got a cramp
or
if he has a cramp in his calf or if they're checking his knee.
He's mentioning Javon Lafayette, who finished the year at quarterback last year, still out with an injury. Again, we remind you that Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link, and you'll also find our complete game schedule, archive videos of all of our games, current and past seasons. You can even post your own photos and join in the Thursday Night Lights conversation on Facebook or Twitter. That's my24milwaukee.com.
Good to see him get up.
Steve Melitek, Jr., 5'11", 240. Walking under his own power. Scott Stager there on the screen, the offensive coordinator.
Melitek's wearing knee braces, which is good. I think most of the Bradford linemen, I think the Franklin linemen also wear knee braces. At least they were wearing them in practice. They don't totally prevent, but they certainly do give you a little more stabilization than you normally have.
I understand we have some technical problems tonight. We're working to get those problems corrected, so bear with us. Patience is appreciated. Matt Fernandez will come in at center now for Bradford. And this is Lynch out to the 10-yard line, short of the first down. They'll bring up third and about 5 for Bradford.
Number 32, Steve Carter.
This is a key play here. Just third down. Keep the drive going, keep the clock running.
3rd and 4 for the Red Devils.
Bring up third and about 4 here for Bradford. Ball just across the 10-yard line. Early here in this fourth quarter, Bradford with a 7-point lead.
Franklin in their 4-man front. They've got it packed in there pretty tight.
Lynch going to struggle forward. It's going to be close. The second effort that time may have gotten the first down for the little running back for Bradford.
He did.
Number 10, Phil Lynch on the carry.
Colton Bund there to make the stop as we take another look on this second effort run by the diminutive Phil Lynch.
He's got good feet and he's got good lean. He keeps the pile going. For a small 5'6", 170.
Watch this. He had the presence of mind to wait for Hastings, his blocker, to clear out, and then charge forward.
He knew what he had to get to the 10-yard line or 15-yard line to get that first down.
Carter wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage that time.
Number 32,
by a very game
Carter on the carry.
Franklin defense.
Tackle by number 32.
That's what Franklin needed on that first down. No gain.
Well, Mike, what do you have on the injury front?
They're checking his right knee. He keeps saying I'm fine, but they're checking the knee a little bit. I'm not sure if he's going to be back tonight.
Well, let's hope they can get him back in that lineup. Again, Bradford dinged up coming into this game and can't afford any more injuries, particularly up front to the line of scrimmage. Carter again wrapped up behind the line.
Well, Franklin's got him 3rd and long now.
You see icing that knee. Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Well, a good sign is he was able to walk off. If it's a sprain, then that'll slow the swelling.
Eric Wimmer brings up 3rd and 10 for the Red Devils.
Well, no gain. 3rd and 10 here for Bradford. 8.5 minutes to go in our ball game, and another key 3rd down. Bradford's been able to convert when they've needed it so far tonight. Counter play that time.
Yep.
Going to Banks, and Jared Carroll, the free safety right there to make the tackle, and Bradford going to be forced to punt here.
Well, they played it safe. They didn't want to put the ball in the air and give Franklin a shot at it. They decided that they'd see if they could run that misdirection play, maybe break it through for a first down, be happy with the punt here, and get down and cover. Franklin needs to handle this one better than they did last time, though.
Quirk and Oates standing back. Yeah, the last time that ball drifted a little bit, and one thought the other was going to catch it, and ended up taking a Bradford roll inside the 20. High snap. Witkowski brings it down, drives it through, and a nice kick. Fair catch signaled for and made by Quirk. Back at the 44-yard line. Nice punt that time by Witkowski to bail his team out here. And
Deron Blanks was one of the gunners on the outside, was right down there in his face. And that's why he had to fair catch it.
Well, Franklin now. 7:35 to play, trailing by 7. They've been looking for Falzone that last drive. Let's see if they go right back to him here. McGuire looking all the way and throws it outside. The receiver cut inside. It'll fall incomplete.
Yeah,
Nick Plath, the intended target, the junior 5'10", 155-pounder, his first look tonight.
McGuire didn't get his feet set there, and as a result, it was an errant throw.
Falzone and Plath lined up here to the near side. They'll go the opposite way. They'll swing it out far side. Quirk with the catch. Gets the first down and more out across the 45, out near the 45-yard line, I should say, of the Red Devils. Barada there to make the stop.
Sean McGuire, you know, has very good fundamentals, and when he gets away from his fundamentals, that's when he has a little bit of a problem. There, he dropped back, put that ball right in the money, and got the first down.
1st and 10 Franklin, Bradford 46. They'll swing it out here near side. Nice pitch, nice catch, and nice tackle. Carvel Graham again coming up with the stick as Plath came down with the reception, but Graham with a fine how do you do there.
That was pretty much textbook open field tackle. He didn't go for the fake at all. He just, as soon as the runner stopped, he just tackled his midsection, and that's exactly what he did. That was a beautiful play.
Only a 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7. McGuire wants to set up the screen, swings it out, completes to Smith. Smith with some running room, 1st down to the Bradford 35-yard line. Chased down by Alex Capelli. He saw the screen come and just couldn't react quick enough to try and knock it away from Smith that time.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and it was like he was running the pattern too, but he got it over his head and dumped it into Smith, and that was a well-thrown ball and a good call. It slows that defense up a little bit. I'm surprised they haven't done that sooner.
Smith with the call up the middle, inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line. Pickup of 6 that time by Smith. Ben Smith, senior, 6 foot, 202-pounder. Again, Capelli credited with the stop.
Well, right now, this is a good-looking drive by Franklin. They're mixing it up really well. They're getting off the ball quickly. They've got Bradford back on their heels a little bit.
Once again, Smith with the run up the middle. He'll get the 1st down. Wrestled down at the 24-yard line. Capelli again working his way off that defensive end for the stop.
Well, when you're a no-huddle team, this is where you want to put the pedal to the metal a little bit, because the defense could be getting a little bit tired. You're used to running play after play. The defense is used to having that 25-second rest.
Swings it out right side, nearly picked off, it got through. As with the reception, Oates down the sideline, inside the 10, down to the 4-yard line. Brian Oates somehow got that football.
I think that was Jack Heide who had a beat on it. He got it, it went right, had to go right through his hands.
Hopefully we'll get another look here.
Yeah, here we go. There it is right there. Oh, just off his fingers, yep. An excellent catch by Oates after catching a tip ball is not easy.
Mangum finally brought him down, but it'll set up 1st and goal for Franklin at the 4. Smith on the call, works left side, wrestled down, may have squeaked out a yard. Hayden Wirtz right there to wrestle him down for Bradford.
Yeah, they got that play, Bradford got that play going sideways, and that's not the way it was intended to go.
2nd and goal for the Sabres.
So it'll be interesting now. Franklin's not a team that gets under center and runs quarterback sneak and things like that. See if they what they do down here in this short yardage.
Smith in the backfield. Quirk lined up single coverage here on the near side. There's your quarterback draw. It's McGuire. Touchdown, Franklin. Sean McGuire running it in off the draw. And they are an extra point away from tying this one up. Sabres with an excellent drive answering that interception for a touchdown.
Well, that's probably the most power they can put together. Run a little fake and then put him in behind the right side of the line. He was able to get the push and reach out and get it over the goal line.
Falzone ties it up with the extra point. Just over 5 minutes to remain here in Kenosha. We will step out. Tie ball game, Sabres and Red Devils. Our anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's on My 24. The press box here at Jaskowitz Stadium, the Bradford coaching staff. Game tied at 21. An impressive drive here for Franklin to tie this one up as they answer on the McGuire 4-yard touchdown run.
You know, I've been looking for Jim Camerado on the sideline. I believe he's up here in the press box. Some coaches like to be up there. He's probably used to being up here from being a defensive coordinator. And so he's letting his offensive coordinator call from the sideline, and he's up here just eyeballing things, making decisions.
Falzone kicks this one out through the end zone for the touchback.
Well, he's got a good leg. That'll be interesting if they get the ball late in the game at the 30, 35-yard line, whether they take a shot at a field goal with him.
Well, this is a situation that Bradford excelled in last year. When they needed to get the drive of the game, this is where they were able to grind the opponent down and just wear them down. Again, they'll have to do it with a backup center, Matt Hernandez in there. Steve Melodic left with a knee injury on that last series for Bradford.
He's still he's sitting down there right on the sideline. He's not back in yet.
Ryan Hastings in there now as well. Carter going over the left side across the 25. Second effort to about the 27-yard line. Good hard run
right off
for
that
senior
left
Steve
side.
Carter.
Bullmore and Bravo over there, and that's a good combination. Now you'll have to go a long ways to find a better guard-tackle combination than those two.
Your offensive coordinator, Scott Steger, probably said if we're going to grind this one through, it's going to have to be behind the guys that have been there before. Bullimore and Bravo, 2-year starters. 1'6'7", 270 is Bullimore. 6'1", 285 is Bravo. Good push by the Sabre defense that time to get in the backfield. I think it was Adam Conley.
Conley was there.
Got in there first on Christian Banks.
Eric Wimmer was there. Yeah, they were all over that. So here we go, key play.
Once again, Mike McGivern on the sideline.
Hey guys, I was listening to the offensive coordinator for Bradford. He said, look, either way, we need to have a sustained drive. And offensively, line, let's continue what we started to begin the fourth quarter.
Well, pretty much what we thought.
Yeah.
Yep. Here comes Lynch. Lynch breaks a tackle. Still on his feet, out across the 30. Got the first down.
That's a good run right
Bill
there.
Lynch, 5'6", 170. Only had 89 yards in all of last year, brought down by Eric Wimmer. But tell you what, that second effort, watch this run here.
I don't know if he weighs 170 or not yet, but I don't even know if he's 5'6", but he's a good little running back, I'll tell you that. Great balance. What do they have? 6 guys, I think, had their hands on him, and he still was able to get the first down.
How about the block by Danny Lyra here?
Yeah. There's a lot of guys. Number 50 right there doing a great job as well.
That was Matt Hernandez, the backup center, number 50. Now Wilson wants to throw, hitches, gets it out, nobody there. Wanted Lynch. He was late breaking out of the huddle, breaking out of the formation there. Goes incomplete. CW18 is TV to talk about, and this fall a new hero will rise. A billionaire playboy with a secret identity and a dark past. Don't miss all the action and suspense on Arrow, starting Wednesday, October 10th on Milwaukee's CW18. Second and 10 for Bradford at their own 31-yard line. Banks in motion, he'll get the pitch, has some running room. Banks to the 35, to the 40, and ushered out of bounds at the 45-yard line. 14-yard run on the sweep to the left by Christian Banks.
Yeah, that was a good run by Banks. Quirk got caught a little bit inside here. You can see 14 got caught inside, and
well, it opens up the field here for
Fichtner had to come up and make the play.
Yeah, opens up the playbook a little bit here for Bradford. Gives them some room here. 3 minutes to go, a little over 3:05 to play here in this fourth quarter in a tie ball game. Carter up the middle for a short gain.
I'll tell you, if we can get a camera shot on number 70, Abe Bravo here, he is a man-child out there. He is just pushing everybody everywhere.
Yeah, look at that last tackle on Lynch. He came up a bit gimpy after that, but he's still in there. Backs are
number 70, the right guard right now.
Banks and Lynch along with Carter. Lynch in motion.
There's a penalty.
Yep. They drew the Sabres offside that time. A little motion that time by Lynch off that left wing position.
Oh, yeah, there's Abe Bravo right there.
Number 70, you bet.
6'1", 285, and he's been around the block a few times. He knows what to do. I was watching him in the warm-up. He comes off the ball. He's got just stomps his feet and grinds, and things move. That's where they're running behind. That's who they're running in behind.
Instead of 2nd and 8, brings up 2nd and 3 on that Conan Smith penalty flag, and now a timeout going to be burned by Bradford here. And they have one remaining here in this fourth quarter. Scott Steger, the offensive coordinator, didn't like the play selection there and wants to reload here and get his troops on the right page.
You know, they still have that play action pass, but they threw it down the field to Lyra. That's still in play right here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pull that out here on an unexpected down. If they can get a first down here, they might pull that out on first down and see if they can sneak it in.
Now looking ahead next week, another big rivalry game. Our first foray into South Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It'll be the Rockets and the Cudahy Packers. A Woodland Conference showdown next Thursday night right here on Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights. That'll be exciting.
Well, I can remember back in the days when Jerry Bowe was coaching there and Bill Spaholtz was the coach at South Milwaukee. That was one of the great rivalries in the metropolitan area. Of course, when they went to separate conferences, it kind of went the other way. But I hope that border war gets relit next Friday or next Thursday night.
The Cudahy South Milwaukee here on My 24 next Thursday. Fake by Wilson. He'll keep it. He'll get the first down.
Well, I think Franklin is thinking a little bit like I was there. They now have they're double covering Lyra out here. They're putting a guy on his nose and bumping him, not letting him off the line of scrimmage. They're not going to let him run free down there and throw that long bomb to him. And I think maybe that's why Scott Steger called timeout on the previous play. I didn't see it, but they might have double covered him, and that's why he called timeout.
They mark him short of the first down.
Yeah, not much.
I'd like to look at that one again. I thought got the football over the plane for the first down, but 3rd and inches here. They needed to get it across the 45, and they do.
Yeah, they should have got that.
Fumble on the play. Ball came out. Ball was out. Let's see.
I think he got it back.
Bradford got it back, but actually might be a little bit longer now to go for it here on 4th down. It is. We get another look here.
I think he had the first down, but then when he lost the handle on it, yeah, there it is on the ground.
Whoa, look at that.
Oh, they were very lucky.
Phil Lynch able to get on it and go into the turtle. 4th and 1 here for Bradford.
They got everybody up there.
Carter bangs his way for the first down to the 44-yard line.
Well, they're in behind the big guy.
61 seconds to go. We're tied at 21 as Carter picks up the first down. Jared Carroll on the tackle for the Sabres.
Yeah, you can see Bravo pulling out, block down. Bravo kicks out, and the fullback comes right in the crack.
They'll pitch it. Banks, sweep. Left side. Banks inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. Keeps him in bounds. Clock rolling. 46 seconds to play.
Nice play by Colin Buck. He had to fight the blocker off, and he still made the tackle.
Bradford has one timeout remaining. They have Witkowski, who has a strong leg as well. Wilson taking a long time here at the line of scrimmage.
Still double covering.
Going to throw it here to the sideline. Got it through. The catch is made. Coming down the near sideline with it. That is Lyra with the catch inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. Gain of 16.
Buck went
Clock
for
stopped on the first down.
Colin Buck went for the interception. Wasn't able to get it. The ball was thrown perfectly. Lyra picked it off.
And Wilson now will clock it here with 20 seconds to go.
They got time to run a play or two before they take a shot at it.
They also have the one timeout.
They don't want to lose any yardage, that's for sure.
Danny Lyra bails his team out here.
Well, that was a really well thrown ball because Buck had a good jump on it. And he just could not quite get his hand on the ball, and it snuck in.
They'll split Lyra out to the left side. And draw Buck again on single coverage here. Give us to Carter. Carter stumbles his way inside the 25 down to the 22-yard line. They put it at the middle of the field.
They're going to run it down and take a shot.
Yep, exactly. They're going to take it down here for the field goal. And so Bradford will take the timeout, 9.5 seconds to go. And it's going to be up to the leg of Eric Witkowski here for the game-winning field goal.
Well, he's got the leg to get it there.
Well, second week in a row here in the 2012 season. We're going to come down to the final play.
That got him down there. See, he throws back. The ball's well thrown. There's,
right there.
Yeah, there you can see Buck almost got his hand on it. Good tackle by Quirk there to bring him down.
This will be a 40-yard field goal attempt for Witkowski. DiBartolo on the hold. The snap coming from Danny Simonson.
Well, they faked one before the half. I don't think they're going to fake this one, though.
Very light breeze in his face. 40 yards for the lead. And now Franklin will take a timeout. Yep, little ice time here. They'll take their first of 3 timeouts here. Make Witkowski think a little bit longer.
Right. Nobody's ever proven that this works, but what have you got to lose?
You know, at the college and NFL level, when coaches wait to the very last second to get that timeout in there and mess with the kicker and mess with the...
I suppose it's one of those things, again, never been proven, but why not try it? What do you have to lose? If you got the timeouts, they don't do you any good if you go home with them. So this has been a really good football game. It's too bad one of them has to lose. They end up 0-2. They're probably going to be one of the better 0-2 teams in the state of Wisconsin because they both have played very good opponents in their first 2 games.
Well, and it's interesting coming in. Franklin has won 6 of the last 9 meetings between these 2 teams, and Bradford with a shutout win last year, 25-0, a chance to win 2 in a row in this series. Here we go. DiBartolo with the hold. Simonson on the snap. Gets it back. Ball down. Kick on the way. It's got the distance, and it's going to go wide left. No good. Hooked it to the left, did Witkowski. So it remains a tie ball game here with 4.6 seconds remaining.
It was a good try. Sometimes when you have that long kick, you put a little extra on it. Rather than follow through, you have a tendency to pull it more to the left because your body English takes you that way. I think that's what happened here.
And he knew it too once it left his foot. Hoping against hope that it would not hook away. So Sabres will come out here.
I think they'll take a knee and go to overtime.
That's what McGuire will do. And we will head to some extra football here tonight in Kenosha. Regulation ends with the score tied at 21 between Bradford and Franklin. So we'll head into an overtime procedure here.
Well, there'll be a 3-minute timeout. Each team will get another timeout for the overtime. The ball will be put at the 25-yard line. They each get a chance to score from the 25-yard line. They can get a first down. As soon as you lose possession, unless they intercept it and run it back for a touchdown, well, then it goes to the other team. But each team gets a chance to score. It's not the old sudden death type of thing that they used to have.
Now there will be a coin flip to determine who gets to the possession first here. Now, as a coach, what would you want? You want your defense out there first, or
you want to be on defense first, so you know what you have to do when you go on offense. There is a little wind here. The other team who doesn't get to choose whether they're on offense or defense will probably choose which way they want the wind to be blowing. I think if Bradford went on defense first, I think I would want Franklin to have to kick against the wind.
Well, each team will have at least one possession here in overtime.
They both have very good kickers, so it's not really a problem unless they lose yardage in their series of downs.
There will be one coin toss here to determine who will get the football to start this first overtime period. The untimed downs in the overtime. 25-second timing rule will still apply. Beginning with the third overtime, teams must attempt 2-point conversions after scoring touchdowns.
Right.
So this is the important part right here.
Yeah, it really is an advantage to be on defense first, in my opinion. Because knowing whether you need 7 or 3, or if they don't score and you get anything you get is.
Officials are explaining everything to both sides and what they can do, and
I'm sure the coaches have gone over this with them sometime between the start of practice and tonight. They have talked about overtime and what the procedure is. It's really just a continuation of the game in a way, with no running clock.
Now let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, I'm on the Bradford sideline. Some kid's a little bit down there after he missed that. Coach is trying to get him up a little bit. Quarterback trying to get him up. The kicker put his head down hard. Coach came over and said, look, we're going to give you another shot. Short memory, and you make sure on this next one, you're right through the middle. A little smile on the kicker's face, and I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think he'll forget it. That's all you can do is go on, move on. No kicker's ever made them all, so.
Well, let's see which side of the field the Sabres will choose here. I believe they will get the football here to start this first overtime. I would think they'd want the wind at their back here and start from the 25 to our left here.
I agree.
Now you can get first downs like you would in regulation here. The chains will be set up at the 25-yard line. So Bradford will be on defense first.
Yeah, we're going to the end down here so that the offense has the win.
Exciting ball game. An interception return for a touchdown. They gave Bradford a 21-14 lead, and then McGuire with the quarterback keep over the 4-yard line with midway through that fourth quarter. Tied the ball game at 21, and then Witkowski with 9 seconds to play, missing a 40-yard field goal that would have won it for Bradford.
Well, both teams have had a chance to win, so they can't. It's not like one had an advantage on the other. This is
Franklin will take over first and 10.
what I would call a fair fight.
Ball
So.
spotted on the 25-yard line.
Officials have delayed here. I want to make sure they've got their ducks in a row here. Sabre ball to start this first overtime period. McGuire at quarterback, Smith the lone man in the backfield, twins left and right. And McGuire on the keep. Read nicely by the Bradford defense and thrown down for a short gain.
Well,
Jay Magnum again there to make the stop for Bradford.
Yeah, they had good penetration there, and he really couldn't get anything going.
No gain, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Again, Smith, the lone man in the backfield. They'll put Plath in a slot here to the left. Falzone lined up wide to the left here as well. McGuire going to go back over the middle. It is nearly picked off. Trying to go back over, looking for Brian Oates, defended by Hayden Wirtz that time on the pressure.
Well, that was the right throw. They lined up in a 4-deep defense and then rolled into a 3-deep, and there was an alley right there, but he just couldn't quite get it in that hole.
How about the play by Wirtz coming up the middle on the blitz? Didn't allow McGuire to step into that throw. He had to short arm it.
He had to get rid of it, right.
Now 3rd and 10 from the 25. Then we're in our first overtime. Franklin with the first possession.
Oh, they moved.
Movement up front will tack on 5 more. Bring up a 3rd and 15 here for the Sabres. And then Bartles there that may
TJ
have
Bartles jumped a little bit. He's pointing at the defense that they throw him off, but that's rarely called if in fact it actually happened.
Cone and Smith penalty flags brought to you by Cone and Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Cone and Smith. Well, 3rd and 15 from the 30-yard line.
Well, they got Falzone out here on the wide side of the field against Carvel Graham. That's an interesting matchup right there.
And again, movement. McGuire trying to go with the hard count, and with the crowd on their feet here, making it difficult for his linemen to hear the cadence. Second straight false start penalty on the Sabres moves them back to the 40, or 35-yard line, I should say, 3rd and 20.
This would be a 52-yard field goal if they end up going incomplete and having to kick it here.
I think with the foot of Falzone, I think what you want here is to try and get you in a safe position here. If you don't make the first down, at least get the ball inside the 25-yard line.
You're right. You want to get the first down, but at least get something so he doesn't have to kick the 52-yarder.
McGuire, play fake, rolling right. Now steps up, delivers, going over the middle. Is Oates caught, touchdown!
Unbelievable.
Brian Oates over the middle for the score. And an extra point upcoming as Franklin strikes on 3rd and 20. Daquan Banks, the defender.
He rolls out to the right. He had two guys running side by side, and he ends Oates' concentration. There's Oates and Quirk riding side by side. I don't know if that was the way it was supposed to be, but
great concentration on the part of Oates to bring that one in. Banks trying to go up and deflect it. Falzone for the extra point. No good. He missed it to the right. Wow.
Okay, the door's open.
Yes, it is. So after the first possession in our first overtime, Franklin with a 6-point lead. Bradford now will get the football from the 25-yard line. Let's see if that factors into
what
our
they
overtime.
Do. Yeah, right.
But again, Sean McGuire, the junior, calm in that pocket, calmly stepped up.
He does have a good presence. He's a very good quarterback. He still has a lot to learn. I like the way he plays. He's pretty much fearless. He's got really good receivers. You have to understand that too. Here it is right here again. A little fake, rolls out to the right. He gets good protection. Throws it on the run. And
all Banks could do, trying to get a hand on it.
On the money, on the run. That is an excellent throw.
Great concentration on the part of Oates. Okay, Bradford now. Their first possession of the overtime. Wilson under center. Pitch goes to Christian Banks, and he is tripped up in the backfield for a loss.
He had a little trouble finding the
Buck.
handle. Yeah, Colin Buck was right there to make the play.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Ball back at the 26-yard line. And we're in our first overtime. Franklin scoring, but missing the extra point. So Bradford with a touchdown.
I think if you're going to throw a pass, probably a play-action pass and 2nd down is where it needs to be.
Lynch.
As long as it's a sweep.
Cuts it back inside, spinning inside the 25 down to the 22-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play for Phil Lynch.
Well, one thing they did now, they took the ball to the right hash mark. You got a left-handed quarterback rolling out to his left here to the wide side. That's what's best for him. So we'll see if they roll out this way with a flood pattern of some kind. All they need is 7 yards.
3rd and 7. Ball to just inside the 23-yard line. Wilson, empty, nowhere to go, and he goes down. Confusion, I think. It looked like he wanted the fullback, Carter, to take that, and somehow they miscommunicated, and it was Kana who brought him down, and now Bradford
take time out.
Going to take a timeout to discuss this 4th down play.
Actually, Carter didn't look like he was supposed to take the ball.
He thought it was going to be the quarterback all the way.
Wilson expected. It's like Wilson expected Carter to take it. Carter wasn't aware that he was supposed to take it, and as a result, you get a loss. That's unfortunate because they haven't made that kind of mistake tonight.
Now it comes down to this, 4th down and 7. They need to get to the 15-yard line for a 1st down. We're in overtime. Bradford trailing by 6.
Yeah, they have no choice. They trail by 6, so they have to go get the 1st down or a touchdown. Franklin's going to be out here bumping. They're going to double on the wide receiver here. The tight end over the middle, like they scored on early in the game, might be there.
Carter, the fullback, Banks to the right, Lynch to the left in the wing. Banks in motion. Wilson rolling left. Wants to throw. Delivers.
Had him there.
Incomplete. Franklin defeats the defending state champion Bradford Red Devils here in Kenosha as they turn the Red Devils back on 4th and 7 in overtime, upsetting the Red Devils 27-21.
Well, it was a good call. That was the play I would expect to see. He did have a receiver there. It was a good, very well covered. It's indicative of how close the game was because that play was very close to being successful. I think if we get a good shot of it, you'll see that Zolsdorf did have position on him, but it was a little bit overthrown. Ends up out of bounds and probably knocked the wind out of him, it looks like also.
He tried to go after it and he came down hard. The defender right there with him, Jared Carroll.
Yeah.
Great ball game here tonight. It goes to the Franklin Sabres, who even their mark now at 1-1 on the year. Bradford falls to 0-2.
I wouldn't count them out. It's going to be. I don't know if anybody's going to go undefeated through this conference or not.
And for the 7th time in 10 ball games now in this series, the Franklin Sabres have taken down the Bradford Red Devils.
It's a good rivalry. It's probably not quite up there with Bradford Tremper, but it's a very good rivalry and healthy for the conference, healthy for both schools.
27-21 overtime win for the Franklin Sabres. We'll step out, be back with our trophy presentation and more here in Kenosha right after this. Overtime thriller here tonight at Jaskowitz Stadium in Kenosha goes to the Franklin Sabres as they knock down the Bradford Red Devils 27-21. A McGuire to Oates strike on 3rd and 20 on their first possession of overtime. The winner, Bradford, turned away on 4th down on their overtime possession, and we head downstairs to Mike McGivern with the trophy presentation.
Hey guys, I got to tell you, two weeks in a row. For us on Thursday Night Lights, great game. I know you didn't want a game that close, and it was a great one for you guys to finish. I thought your team showed a lot of courage in the 4th quarter. Quarterback, in overtime, made a great throw. You got to feel awfully good about your boys here, Coach.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of the effort. They never quit. I told these guys before the game that we got to play as a team, play all 4 quarters, never quit, have each other's back, and give them a lot of credit. They pulled it out. I wasn't sure, It was one heck of a game. Give Bradford credit.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a game, I think, Coach, that you can look back at in a couple of weeks and say, hey, look, we've been here before. Fellas, we've done this before. Let's just go ahead and get a win. And then you guys kind of get used to getting wins like that.
Yeah, that's big. We got a lot of young guys in the lineup this year, A lot of guys that haven't played on Thursday and Friday nights, and they're learning real quick. They're growing up real quick, and we can only get better, trust me.
Hey, boys, congratulations, Franklin. Get after it. Here we go.
A Sabre celebration as they knock off Bradford tonight, 27-21. And you saw on that replay the throw on the run by Sean McGuire, the junior. Boy, and as you said, only a junior, still with a lot to learn. But, boy, very impressed with the way he runs the offense for Franklin, especially here tonight.
Well, as long as he's driving the bus for Franklin, they're in good shape. I can tell you that right now. And it's probably going to be another, certainly all this year and hopefully all next year, too. He's a very good player. He's got excellent receivers to throw to. Their offensive line's got the 2 young tackles, the 2 sophomores that tackles. The 3 guys in the middle are very good. Those tackles are only going to get better each game. And they're missing, I think, one of their better players, Walton. His first name escapes him right now, but he had a lot of yards and catches last year for him. According to Coach, he's going to be back in 3 to 4 weeks. When they get him back in that backfield or in the receiving corps, that's going to make their offense even better, I think. And but they did what they had to do tonight. It doesn't matter by how much. It's the fact that you did. And so they end up 1-1 and at top of the conference, at least for the next 24 hours.
Franklin a winner in overtime over Bradford. We'll be back with our players of the game and a final word here from Jaskowitz Field in Kenosha. 27-21. Franklin over Bradford. Back with more after this. Sabres in overtime tonight over Bradford, 27-21 to go to 1-1 on the season, 1-0 in Southeast Conference play. Bradford falls to 0-2. The defending state champions now winless in their first 2 games, 0-1 in conference play. As we take a look at our players of the game tonight, and no doubt on the Franklin side of the field who that is.
Well, they have a lot of good players and a lot of players that made plays tonight, but nobody made the plays like Sean McGuire did. He was involved in all 4 scores. Either he ran one in and threw for the other 3. Of course, he had that connection on the other end that really makes a difference as well. There's the 1, 2. Well, that's the pick. Well, actually,
we'll start with the Bradford player.
Mitch Kesey. He's our Bradford player of the game. He had the 1 pick, and he did not start. He'd come in and play in the secondary, and he had a huge pick in the second half, put him ahead. And this is then McGuire right here. There's the
that's the Kesey 40-yard
Kesey
interception.
Again, same thing, same play going from a different angle. So we've got both players that are players of the game involved in this play right here.
So Mitch Kesey for Bradford, our player of the game for Kenosha Bradford. Sean McGuire, our player of the game for Franklin, as we said, factored into all 4 scores tonight. 1 rushing touchdown, 3 touchdown passes, including the game winner in overtime to Oates.
Here's the first touchdown, I believe. This is going to go to Conley deep in the end zone for the first score. One thing about being a quarterback, sometimes bad things happen as well, and he overcame that. This is to Cusick.
McGuire tonight, 12 for 23, 251 yards.
That's the one to Oates. Nice run after catch here.
So our Anthem, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield
the
players of the game.
Right there, right to Oates again. That was an excellent catch. Really a good throw because he was being chased and he stepped up, threw it on the run.
Take a look at our final stats for tonight.
Well, it's about what you expect. 225 yards, 251 yards passing for Franklin, 225 running for Bradford. But the overall goes 336 goes to Franklin. 1 turnover, they were able to overcome that. It did provide a score for Bradford. First downs 2-1 Bradford, but that happens when you run the ball. So I think the stats are pretty indicative of what happened in the game. The running team ran, the passing team threw, and the passing team was able to come up with 1 more score.
Just a couple of inches either way on that Banks defense on that touchdown pass in overtime, and maybe we're talking a different thing. Carter, the same thing on that third down play that there was a little bit of mix-up there. If one or the other figured that out and took the run, perhaps they pick up the first down in overtime, and things might be different.
That's a mistake that hadn't happened, and it was it's about as bad as time as you could pick to have it. And they weren't able to overcome it, and that's the way the game goes. It sometimes is a game of inches, a game of breaks, as is often said, and that's true tonight.
27-21, Sabres over Bradford. Next week we're in South Milwaukee, a Woodland Conference matchup. Cudahy at South Milwaukee right here on My 24. For Mike McGivern, Dick Basham, I'm John Weiser, and our entire crew here from My 24. Thanks for tuning in to Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's. Good night, everyone.